Welcome live to Bennett Field at West Beach. It's time for the 2018-19 Division I Grand Final. Eric Ballnar joined by Scott Pratt. Pratty heavily involved with the Goodwood Indians, but you're here to provide some expert commentary tonight. The Saints have dominated wire to wire all season long, and Goodwood, winners of 13 of 14 heading into this game. It's the local derby, it's the grand final, everything's on the line. Sturt looking to break a drought, Goodwood looking to go back-to-back. Could it be a better grand final?
Oh, Eric, it's great to be here, and this is going to be a crackerjack series. I am very excited for the Goodwood Indians, my club, my team, but it's also great to see Sturt came out of not being in the finals last year. They've really turned it on this year. They've had a great year, and it's great to see them back in. And yes, the local derby, we know it as the Fred Cat Phil White perpetual trophy that we have in the local derby. It's sitting there behind home plate. Some history between two clubs, and great to see, great to be back here in the grand final.
Well, Goodwood had a mini drought of about 5 years before they won their premiership last year. You know what it feels like to be on the winning side. Sturt haven't won since 1991. Can you imagine the anxiety, the frustrations, and the feelings that this supporter group would be feeling this weekend?
100%. I can tell you from experience, back in 99-2000, we were 47 years without winning a premiership.
Wow.
And as the club captain there, we won that premiership, and that was a great feeling. And yeah, a lot of anxiety and a lot of, wow, it's great to be back involved in that, and it was great to win that.
So you know what it feels like to win that, but I'm guessing you know what it feels like to come agonizingly close as well too, which could be another outcome for Sturt.
Well, we lost the last two after that. So we won that one, lost the next two, and then won the one after that. So look, these finals, and we saw it last year with the game against Port in that series. That was a crackerjack series up until game 3. This is great baseball, and this is the pinnacle of this state right here, and this is going to be an exciting weekend.
Both these teams are just chock-filled with Super League players, Adelaide Bite players, all-star players, former state representative players from top to bottom. Both these teams just scream star power, which is what you want in the grand final.
100%. There is a wealth of talent in these two teams, and it's going to be great just to sit back and watch. And I believe the grand final is all about letting it all flow. You know, you present yourself, you do what you've done all year, and let's sit back and enjoy these two teams go head to head.
Well, we're about to get underway. It's Owen Hughes, who was just named a Gold Glover at the Caps Medal Award night on Wednesday night, going against Jackson Brebner Russ, the starting pitcher for Sturt. And with that pitch, we are underway here at West Beach. Jackson Brebner Russ, starter. He played for the Adelaide Bite this year. He's been on the roster for a while. Pitcher for Sturt, and he delivers the first strike of the game, but also pitched for the Wasps in the Super League this year.
Marquee player for the Super League, yes.
Your team.
Yeah, I've got a few boys out there with Mitch Lightbody at shortstop as well. So, yeah, very close relationships, and a lot of silverware out there. When you look at, we've got Creswell as we've got Owen that won the outfielder of the year. We've got Brendan Pett that won the hitting trophy of the year. We've got, of course, Wilson Lee, the Caps medalist. Congratulations to Willie Lee.
There is so much talent in these lineups, and Owen Hughes, he's had a great sort of start to the year this year. Owen Hughes, he didn't play a huge role in last year, although he was fantastic, but he started off in the first game of the regular season in that grand final rematch. Owen Hughes hit a home run in game 1 of the season, and that was sort of the sign that, you know what, maybe this is going to be a pretty good year for Owen Hughes.
Yeah, exactly, and we also jumped down to the next guy up, Josh Cakebread, who was the infielder of the year. So, again, a lot of silverware out here all around. So we're blessed with some talent here.
And the scorer of the year, Lorraine Dunn, as well, is scoring the game for Goodwood as well, too. And Owen Hughes swings at the pitch here. This is going towards center field. It should be easily playable, and it is caught by Harry Nucky, moving in to grab that one. Here's this.
No, that dropped in.
Oh, that dropped in for hit?
Yeah,
there you go.
That one died right there.
In front of Harry Nucky.
And this is where you got to look at these flags down here at right field line, the wind that drops that right in. So that ball that comes in, you hit that ball out to right field. You've got to come in hard on that, because that's going to drop down. So that just died, right? It's what we call a dying quail sitting out there.
I got sent a great photo, by the way, of this next batter, Josh Cakebread, earlier today. I'm going to show you, Pratty, and I'm going to send it to our producer, David Muggleton, to see if he can get it on screen a little later. But I'll show you that picture right there. So I'm going to send this here, and hopefully we can get it up on screen. No promises, but we'll see how we go. But Josh Cakebread, where do you start with his accolades and his performance and what he's meant to South Australian baseball?
Yeah, well, I watched him last week, and he hit 2 home runs in the first game.
As he grounds this over to McCardle at third, throw to second, there's one, back to first, and that one just slips away, so it's going to advance, or Josh Cakebread will stay at first, so it'll just go down as an error throwing to first. It could have been a double play, would have been tight either way.
Yeah, so he was on fire last week with a few long balls, and as we said, you know, he's also in the team of the year, and we'll go through that again shortly. Also the winner of the Gold Glove infielder for the year.
Very good hitting lineup this Goodwood side. Jeremy Creswell, Dylan Child, Stephen Welsh, Brendan Pett, Michael Gaughan, Ben Wigmore, and then Toby Baldock rounding it out. When you've got the SABL batting champion in Brandon Pett batting 6th in the lineup, sort of says a little bit about how strong this lineup is, especially as of late.
It certainly does, and that's an interesting point that you're making. I was just having a look at some stats before. That being said, in the hitting, the offensive categories, overall, Sturt are above Goodwood.
And I'm sure when Sturt start batting, we'll talk at length about them, and they have really been quite dominant. Their pitching's been solid. It hasn't been spectacular, but it's been top 5 in the competition, so it's been good. But it's really their hitting that's been a huge difference. So many weapons top to bottom, so they could be going right at the jugulars this weekend. Goodwood, in their last game they played, they won 14-13 over West Torrens to get here. So it sort of shows the sort of legs that they have with this offense.
And that was an unbelievable game. It got to the point where Goodwood almost put the cue in the rack getting ready for game 3, and then they dropped a 7 spot, and then they're back in the game and end up winning. So quite interesting.
Yeah, I was talking to a couple of the umpires in that game, and they said it was not an umpire's nightmare, but it was certainly a challenge because there was walks, there was hits, there was home runs, there was a bit of controversy. The game had a little bit of everything, and you know that West Torrens, such a proud club, they don't go down easy. So they were fighting for their lives, and that's how the game sort of turned out. As this is laced into right field on the hit and run, and Jeremy Creswell is going to advance Josh Cakebread over to third, who slides in, didn't need to, but Creswell getting the mojo going. Creswell and Cakebread, we could probably talk about this combination ad nauseum, whether it be when they were middle infield for the Adelaide Bite, winning a championship last year for Goodwood, time growing up in the system together, winning the Super League this year as the middle combination. These guys have done it all together.
And there is vintage Creswell there. He keeps the shoulder in and he drives that ball. He knows it's a hit and run. He doesn't try to do too much with it and puts it in the gap there. That is great hitting to see from Jeremy Creswell.
So up to bat now is Dylan Child. He's played at a couple different clubs in his career. What can you tell us about Dylan Child?
Well, Dylan's come to us from Woodville and solid behind the plate and has had a really good year and has filled an important gap in our team to get that spearhead catcher back there. Solid bat too. He's a big, strong lad. Can hit the ball hard.
I believe he had a bit of a softball background as well too. You've seen that a lot. A bit of that's what I'm told from James Harris, the executive officer here. I think his brother plays softball at quite a high level, and he's going to smack this to right field, and that's going to score the first run of the ball game. Dylan Child gets this to the wall. Creswell going to be held up at third, and Dylan Child, welcome to the ball game, Goodwood. 1 out, double from Child, and Goodwood are striking first.
And straight away there you can see the ball again on the outside edge, and Child's not trying to do too much, just moving that ball over there and drives it into that deep spot down in that right field line there. You hit that ball there and that's a sure double any day.
Very exciting stuff for Goodwood, and it's runners on second and third, 2 runners in scoring position, and who else would you want up to bat but the Sheriff? Stephen Welsh announced his retirement from the ABL this year, but he's still a legend in the club ball ranks, including a memorable Game 3 last year. I think he was 4 for 5 with a couple home runs and 6 RBIs. How are you doing, Stephen Welsh, the big lefty's up to bat right now?
Well, our local residents aren't too happy with this fella here because he's put a few balls in their doorstep the last week.
Has he been on fire, Steph?
Last weekend, I couldn't give you the exact stat, but I think out of the 2 games, it was at least 3 home runs that he hit. And one of them was knocking on someone's door across the road.
He's been a major part of this Goodwood side for years, and it's a reason they're always knocking on the door. This is grounded over to first. Bobbled just a little bit. It's going to be a race over to first base. A run is going to score, so Stephen Welsh grounds out to first as Angus Rogers touches first, but Jeremy Creswell touches home, and Goodwood have leaped on Sturt early. It's 2-0.
And you could see there, one thing that comes up on the monitor, Steph hits that ball to the right side, and he looks and sees that he scored the run. And that's what his job here is the infielder playing back, get that ball on the right side, scores a run. Happy days, have got 2 on the board.
Just selfless baseball from Stephen Welsh. Now Brendan Pett, it's a big weekend for him for a lot of reasons. Big week for him. Earlier in the week, he won the batting champion, playing in a grand final tonight. What's he doing tomorrow?
He's unavailable. He has prior commitments.
Prior commitments is what we hear.
And here's the pitch.
And he's going to swing at this one. This is taken back. This is to the wall. Is it going to get there? And it drops just in front of the wall into Caps medalist Wilson Lee. And that will end the inning. So it's a 2-0 start for Goodwood. Pratty, they jumped all over them. It is a big start here for the Goodwood Indians, and that's exactly what you want to jump on a bite player like Jackson Brebner Russ.
Well, very happy with that, to get 2 runs on the board early, and especially against this offense that we've talked about of Sturt. A very good start, and very happy to see that from a Goodwood point of view. Some good execution. You know, guys weren't trying to do too much with the ball. They were moving the ball over. They're not looking to hit that home run. You can't afford to do this in this park. And that's one thing that we're going to watch today, is to see the difference between different guys make their approach here. And that's where you've got to be an experienced hitter and know you've got to move that ball over to the right side. You know, you just saw Brendan Peck get hold of one and it gets caught on the warning track. You're not going to hit home runs. They're not going to come all the time here. And I hate to call that too early, but, you know, we like to state the obvious here in commentary. But this is a big ballpark. This is about executing, get them on, move them over and score them. So
that probably would have been a home run in, I guess, at where Goodwood
90% of the fields in Baseball SA, that's a home run. 90%. And that's the thing. This is a big ballpark here, and this is where you got to do the little things to make things happen.
So if you're just talking as a neutral here, if you're talking about playing a bit of small ball, which is what this park requires, which team would that favor a little bit more, do you think?
Well, I don't think it would favour either team when you look at it,
living on it,
because they're both good hitters, and their offensive numbers are big, you know. And you look, if you go through the stats, and we'll jump through this really quickly. Averages: Sturt are first on 339, Goodwood are second on 321. So there's only .018 between the two of them. On base percentage, first and third, leading by Sturt. Slugging, first and third, leading by Sturt. Runs percentage, first and third, leading by Sturt.
Goodness.
Like, these two are the 2 best hitting teams in the league. You know, so this is going to be a battle, and it's going to come down to doing the little things that count at the right time.
So it's 2-0 right now, but I don't think Sturt's going to be very worried. On the mound right now is Tyler Thompson for Goodwood. Harry Nucky leading things off for Sturt, and he delivers a first pitch strike. Tyler Thompson with a 1.76 ERA throughout the season, just shy of winning that ERA award that Chris Burkholder won. Congratulations to him from Glenelg Baseball Club. But how important is Tyler Thompson being to this Goodwood side?
You know, he's the cornerstone guy. He's the key guy. He's the #1 guy in the team. I had the pleasure last week. I watched this game. I watched him pitch, and he moves the ball inside, outside. This will be great for the viewers to watch the different stuff that he moves at different times, and it's quite exciting to watch different pitchers when they do things like this. So you know, we'll be able to sit this on the monitor and see some exciting stuff coming from Tyler.
Tyler Thompson is 2nd year that he's been in South Australia. He started with Henley and Grange last year, moved over to Goodwood in the middle of the year. Goodwood were very excited to have him for a finals run, but he got hurt and wasn't able to play in the grand final, so it's a great shot of redemption for him right here. Even though Goodwood won last year, it's something he wanted to be a part of. And Nucky slaps this over to short. There is Creswell, throw over to first, and Ben Wigmore makes the play. Well, there's that infield, and I'll bring you through that right now. This is, if you go wind back the clock here a little bit from the Claxton Shield days to the Adelaide Bite days, especially in the early, what was your middle infield? Welsh at third, Creswell at short, Cakebread at second, Wigmore at first, and that's what we have in the lineup right here, just in front of our eyes.
There it is right there, you know, and this is where this, as I said, this is a great game. This is going to be, we're going to see some of the best baseballers that have come out of this state here today.
And speaking of the best baseballers in the state, is there a better baseballer in the state? The Caps medal would suggest not, than Wilson Lee, a runaway winner in the Caps medal best and fairest count. 39 votes he pulled over second place, Jeremy Creswell, with 26. It wasn't even close. A dominating season from Willie, and he swings at that and chops that one foul. But what makes Willie so special? How's he turned the corner so much?
Well, and one of the good things about Willie Lee is he can play anywhere. You know, he's an athlete that can, he's leading Sturt's averages.
418.
You know, so he's also leading their runs, second in their runs batted in, second in their home runs. So this guy can produce both pitching and hitting. Pitching, he's running at an ERA of 387 with 10-0 for a record. So how do you like picking up that guy?
Yeah, that was a huge in. Wilson Lee played at Woodville before this. This is not his first grand final. It's Sturt's first grand final in quite a long time. But Wilson Lee, of course, played for Woodville in back-to-back grand finals. Unfortunately, they fell in them, and that was in the 15 and 16 grand final. That's inside, and Wilson Lee strikes out. A great pitch from Tyler Thompson. You'll see it on the replay here, thanks to Spacequake Sports, I'm sure, but they just sort of framed him a little bit inside.
And this is where Tyler does so well, and he's so damaging, is he works in and he works out. You can't sit up on one pitch with him because he's going to move that ball around. And, you know, you say the word crafty pitcher. He's a crafty pitcher, but he's also got some power behind him with his fastball.
Last year, Dylan Ridding had a batting average of .416 and really a big breakout year in a true rookie campaign for Sturt. This year, he backed it up with .397, proving that it wasn't a fluke. He was hurt for the first half of the year. He's up to bat right now. This kid has a bright future ahead of him and is knocking on the door of the Adelaide Bite as well, too, as he chops at this one. Stephen Welsh, easy play. Throw to first, easy as 1, 2, 3 for Goodwood. And they have a 2-0 lead at the end of 1. We will step aside for just a moment, but Goodwood up 2-0 after 1 in the Division I Grand Final.
Cracker.
Well, there's that image of Josh Cakebread that we talked about on screen. He's factored heavily in this one by getting on base. And a great image right there. It's Ben Wigmore up to bat with the music still blaring during the at-bat as well, too. But we're back at it. And this is a big strike. So Jackson Brebner-Russ allows 2 runs in the first inning. How does he have to settle himself back in to go the distance in this one?
He's got to get himself into a groove here right now, and I guess the thing is, here you go, you're coming at 7, 8, 9, but you're coming at Michael Gunn, Ben Wigmore and Toby Baldock. So, you know, this is where you just got to get to, he's got to get ahead and come back and bounce straight back.
Michael Gahn, a pitcher for the Adelaide Bite. That's why he came over, but he's been playing Division I. I believe he hit a home run last weekend as well, too. He's hitting 370 as a hitter. So, yeah, good for Michael Gahn. He's, I think, Goodwood folks have come to really like Michael Gahn as he's joined the team after the Bite season ended. He
has settled in amazingly. He's out with the kids, helping the kids at trainings, and he's just a good guy to have around the club.
And Michael Gahn swings at that one. That's to third for Jordan McCardle. He grasped this one, throw to first. Gahn hustling down the line. He's just going to be thrown out. Good throw from Jordy Mack over to first. Jordan McCardle, big in for Sturt. Unfortunately released from the Diamondbacks, and I'm sure he'll get another opportunity. He's a very good player, but that's huge for Sturt to have Jordan McCardle back.
I guess two things it says. One is it's great for Sturt to have him back, and I think it's something that we should understand. Professional baseball is very, very hard. You know, there's one of the best guys going around in the state, and you know, unfortunately got released. It's not easy to make it there, you know, and we've got to understand that the next step up is huge.
Ben Wigmore up to bat. He is probably one of the most well-respected folks in South Australian baseball, and he gets hit by Jackson, and that's one thing you got to watch for, is that control with Jackson if he gets a little bit wild, and not an encouraging sign with a hit by pitch right there.
Yeah, that's his two-seam. His two-seam does tend to get away from him at times. It is a great pitch when it's on and when it's working, but it can be ineffective and can cause some trouble to him. Interesting here, we know that Ben, after spending many years behind the dish catching, hasn't got the best of wills out there, and he'd love me for saying that. As a fellow catcher, I understand. So there's not going to be too much that's going to happen here as Toby Baldock hits that one high, very high, and Jordan McCardle takes the catch.
Well, this is a big at-bat coming up here with Owen Hughes. He got aboard to start the game in a little bloop to right field. You feel like Sturt, after they allowed 2 runs in the first, a straightforward inning would just mean the world to them right here. Oh,
this is exactly what they need right now, and you know, JBR will be very happy with that out, and at this point in time be looking, okay, Owen got away with that hit last time. He now needs to win the battle back here.
This one just a little bit up high. So Jackson Brebner-Russ on the mound. He's pitched with the Bite for years. He pitches in the Czech Republic as well, too. He's had a very good season as well with the bat and pitching. He had a 3.68 ERA, batting 3.24 average. Very impressive numbers from Jackson. What makes him such an athlete and a competitor? You would have saw him firsthand with the Wasps.
Yeah, look, I saw him way back when he was even as a catcher, and I rated him highly as a catcher. I thought he was one of the up-and-coming stars in the league as a catcher. But obviously, and there's many a story of Luke Prokopec, John Challinor, that have got these strong arms, and they go, rightio, get from behind there, get on the hill and throw, and it just shows that he is an athlete, JBR, and can do all, and you know, hitting over 300 and getting having a great season on the hill for Sturt offers a lot in versatility for Sturt.
I love to see the families really get involved in this club as well too. Obviously Sue Brebner-Russ, she's a scorer for this club as well too, yes. But you see that with Matt Dunn and Lorraine Dunn at Goodwood, just those great family connections, and that's right back to Jackson Brebner-Russ, underhand over towards first base, and they needed that simple inning, and they got it. That has to mean something to Sturt as they can let their bats go to the work now with the middle of the lineup coming up.
Well, what you see a lot in finals, and you know, I have been fortunate to be in a lot of finals, and to understand the finals is it really happens. Teams have a break. You're talking about 2 very good teams that come to the final. One team's going to have a chance to get some momentum and get a giddy up, right? And then what happens is the other team's good, can put the stop on that pretty quickly, and then it can flip to the other team getting momentum and scoring a couple of runs. And it can seesaw, and the key is to minimise the seesaw. The team that minimises that, understand that, yeah, Goodwood are going to score 2 runs, but now it's our turn to use our offense and for us to get a kick on here.
It's an interesting way to look at it, that equilibrium you sort of want. And don't get too high, don't get too low.
100%, and this is where it's going to be interesting, and is the experience of Goodwood going to come out over the top in understanding that you've got to let them have that little, they're going to have their run, but we'll keep cool and we'll come back and we'll score our runs when we need to, or the raw offensive power of Sturt just take this game away. And that's the beauty of this baseball game, and that's where we'll see. And you've got to keep that cool head and go, okay, you've had your chance. All right, we'll let that go. Now we regroup and we get on with it, because otherwise games turn ugly, and that's where teams get beaten up pretty quickly.
Well, Terrell Joyce will step up to the plate, and what a season he has had. He led the SABL with 42 RBIs. They play 30 games in this competition. In fact, Terrell Joyce only played in 24 of them, and he had 42 RBIs. That is an insane amount of production from the guy that they brought over as well this year as well, too. He was a big in, Terrell Joyce, and he's producing for this team.
Add to that 12 home runs.
Yeah, not bad. They brought him in to be that big weapon in the middle of the lineup, and he has been just as advertised. Terrell Joyce, he's coming off a championship in the Czech Republic as well, too. So he's got that winning pedigree in his blood right now. Started with the Glenelg Tigers, went to West Torrens, and now down at Sturt, and he's getting a chance at it right here. So Terrell Joyce will try to get things cracking. He is a weapon, Terrell. Tyler Thompson going at it. So it's import star versus import star. The decision this year by the Baseball SA board to limit it to 1 import per club. And it's Terrell Joyce for Sturt and Tyler Thompson for Goodwood. And you know what? They both have done their job. Sturt needed someone to bring home the runs. Goodwood needed someone to keep the runs off the board. And both have done their job as Terrell Joyce chops this one foul, making it a 1-2 count.
And it's interesting, as you can see, you know, there comes a time where there is a gamble to bring in a player from overseas. Terrell's been around for a while, so people, you know what you're going to get from him, and Sturt know what they're going to get, and sure as anything, he has delivered for them as well.
And Terrell Joyce swings at that one. It's the second strikeout of the day for Tyler Thompson. That's a big in there for you, too. But you know what? You're going to get that with Sturt. They're going to hit it long, they're going to hit it hard, but they're also going to swing through a couple ones as well, too. And
Terrell's not going to be too worried about that. He's going to have potentially another 6 to 10 at-bats, and he knows what he's going to do. And, you know, you're facing against one of the best in the league, and the numbers show that you're going to get out more than you're going to get safe. So you take that on the chin and you get ready for your next at-bat.
Jordan McCardle up to bat. He hit .354. This lineup, the worst batting average in the lineup is Mitch Lightbody, who hit .291.
How's that? That is unbelievable. There are teams in this league that would love to have Mitch Lightbody as their number 4 hitter, and he's hitting that.
And he's batting number 9 on this team. The team bats just over .330 as an average. So Mitch Lightbody is an excellent player in this competition. That's just how deep this Sturt lineup is. And unless Goodwood can stretch this out to 5, 6, 7 runs, and even then, they're never going to be out of it, Sturt, because they can flick a switch and off they go.
And you have a look at what they did last week. Both games, they came from behind and won. So they're never out of this game.
Round 1 versus Henley and Grange of the finals, they were down 6-2 in the 8th inning, and they won 7-6. They just flicked that switch, and they got it going. They played a lot of close baseball for a team that has not lost in 18 games. They played some close games. Well, you can look at it either way. Saying it's a worrying sign they're playing closer baseball. I look at it as a great sign because they're able to get it done. And this is hit opposite field. This is back. This is to the wall. And that ball is gone.
Jordan McCardle taking that ball to the opposite field for him. He's hit that ball over left field.
Jordan McCardle gets a hold of it opposite field, and that is exactly what the Sturt Saints needed because they're right back in it. It's a 1-run game. Angus Roger will come up to bat. That ball just kept drifting. You don't really see that at West Beach.
Man, you do not see that. And we talked about that before. You don't see that happen very often here at West Beach where a guy's going to hit that opposite field.
Well, we talked about how they can just flick the switch at a moment, and Jordan McCardle, he's a big game player. He's hit a home run in the ABLCS before. He's hit it in the preliminary final in the ABL. Jordan McCardle is no stranger to a big moment in his young career, and he's getting it done here. Remember, he won a grand final 2 years ago with West Torrens as well, too.
That's right.
So Jordan McCardle is is accustomed to the big stage, even though he is so young at just 20 years old.
And if we flick back onto this page that I talked about, number one in offensive category going head-to-head, Sturt have got that power. So you really, you know, Tyler's got to make sure of all his pitches. And here we see in the replay, Jordan McArdle sitting ready for that ball. Really swung through that. That is a great piece of hitting there.
That ball just kept going. I did not think that ball was going to make the distance, but you shouldn't really underestimate a guy like Jordan McArdle, who is just so powerful. And this gets inside on Angus Roger, another big, powerful bat in this lineup, hitting .395 this year. He had, how many home runs did he have? 13 home runs, 30 RBIs, and there might not be a player on this Sturt lineup that this grand final means to more than Angus Roger. His dad, a big part of this club as well, too. Yep. This is a huge weekend for Angus Roger. I know he wishes his dad could be here today as well, too, to celebrate this.
Well, this is about the community of baseball here, and like you said, there's a lot of family in, especially in the two clubs, and you know, a lot of family people, a lot of people around helping their clubs, and ex-players that their sons have come through and played. And it's great to see, and see so many and so many good people around.
Angus Roger steps up, and that one just gets up high. It's a 2-2 count, so Roger working this pretty well. Wearing number 5, his dad's number as well, too. Great to see all the sponsor signage up from each of the clubs around the grounds as well, too. You can see that up on each of the Shark Tank decks for each of the clubs. Here's an opportunity here, and this is ripped hard down the line. It stays fair. Angus Roger rounding first. He's going to get in there with a double. So Angus Roger backs up the McArdle home run and puts himself in scoring position.
Well, we did talk about it in between the innings, and we said that, you know, this is finals baseball, and each team's going to get their chance to have a go. And, you know, when you come up and you've got McArdle, you've got Roger, you're talking ABL standard, they're going to have a crack, and they're going to deliver at some point in time. And this is the beauty of finals baseball.
Well, to win a championship, you really do need your bottom of the lineup to come through with a few clutch hits. Big opportunity right now for William Worth and Matt Macbeth, who are two Sturt blood, like they'll bleed blue. These two batters coming up, and big opportunity for William Worth up to bat right now.
And this is really where it gets down to the part of the pitchers have got to make their pitches here, and Tyler's now got to settle down and go, okay, I've come up against two of these guys, now I've got to get back and throw my pitches and do what was working in the first innings.
We'll see how he goes right here. An 0-1 count as he fouled the first one away. Well, we figured that this would be an arm wrestle. I don't even know if it's an arm wrestle is the right one. It's going to be a boxing match all weekend. Someone's going to throw a punch and the other one's going to have a counter. One's going to have a left hook. The other one's going to hit him back with the jab. And so far, Sturt have jabbed back after the big left hook of Goodwood in the first inning.
Exactly, and you can see here William Worth choking up on the bat there, looking to put that ball in play here.
And he's just going to chop this foul. He had a pitch he wanted. He's a guy, he plays twos, he plays ones. He's the ultimate club man. I mean, this Sturt lineup has a lot of really, really loyal and long-standing Sturt members with a couple new members that are the nice little addition to this. But they know how much this means to the blue and white sitting in the crowd, and all you have to do is look around to see the amount of support that Sturt has this weekend.
It's a big crowd here. It is a big crowd here for the first game.
Saturday, usually the marquee one as Thompson gets him to swing through that. So Tyler Thompson has quietly 3 strikeouts so far in this game as Matt Macbeth will step up to plate now.
And again, that's where you got to make sure your pitches. And you can see William Worth was looking for that pitch, and unfortunately, you know, it was a great pitch there by Tyler that just got past him, but his approach was right there. So a tough at bat and a tough out.
Well, we certainly appreciate everybody joining us right now. Lots of people commenting already and tagging their friends. Remember, the best way to spread the news and the word about this great sport is click that share button as this is hit into the outfield. Roger's at third. He's getting the wave around. He's pushing home. It's a play at the right. Roger slides in and he's safe. Listen to those Sturt supporters roar as their man Angus Roger gets in there, and it is a big...
Let's have a look at that, Eric. He's stuck his shoulder, kept his shoulder in, and driven that to the right side again. That ball's got through. Roger comes in. If we can see the play at the plate, he slides around, doesn't slide in. That's heads up baseball right there. Two good bits of baseball there that is cracking to see here. You watch him as he comes in, gets around.
Great dive. That's exciting. It's just a small ball bunt lay down here from Mitch Lightbody. We talked about the bottom of the lineup needing to produce. How about with 2 hits, Matt Macbeth coming through to tie the ball game?
And we talk about Sturt, true and true, the Macbeth family at Sturt.
Oh my goodness.
The late great Ronnie Macbeth. What a legend of the game. So much for this baseball in this state, let alone just for Sturt.
And 2 Macbeths on this team. You see the celebrations from Mitch Lightbody, his father David Lightbody, another Sturt boy through and through. It was great actually sitting at the Caps Medal Awards night on Wednesday. They played this video of the 2006-2007 Caps Medal season, and they polled a bunch of players from the baseball community about who's going to win. And there were 2 young Sturt players. This is grounded over to third. Welsh, barehanded play, throw to first. That is going to get there safe, but what a play from Stephen Welsh. It'll be an infield hit though.
Pretty handy play there, that bare hand come up.
Look at this. I was going to say his Lightbody up to bat though, and we'll take a look here. There's the bunt down the line, but look at this barehanded play. Great throw, but Lightbody's there. But the photo or the video was of a very, very young looking, probably they were, I guess, 8 and maybe 7 years old. It was Mitch Lightbody and Jordan McCardle in their Sturt uniforms sitting side by side trying to predict who would win the Caps medal this year. It was a really cool video to see, and now they're teammates with the Bite, they're teammates with Sturt, and they've gone right up through the system together. So it means a lot, this club, to these players. And when they were developing and focusing on those juniors back when those kids were 7 and 8, they were hoping they'd be 20 and 21 one day playing for a Division I Grand Final. Yeah,
that's fantastic, and I'm sure Ron Macbeth is looking down and proud as punches. He was a key part of that all happening as well.
Harry Nucky, another rising star in the state here. I remember his Adelaide Bite debut. He went 4 for 5 in the best ever Adelaide Bite debut for a rookie. I think actually maybe Matt Hutchings might have eclipsed that this year. I think Matt Hutchings went 5 for 6 in a game. But, I mean, Harry Nucky had a very memorable year a couple years ago versus Sydney. Just a 19-year-old player.
And again, we talk about baseball families. Jamie Nucky, you know, a legend of Sturt. And here comes his son now coming through.
His cousin, Kelsey Nucky, will be playing tomorrow in the semi-final for softball. Kelsey has been on the team of the year for years right now at first base. You can watch that on Spacequake Sports as well. West Torrens versus Walkerville. The Sturt softball club will be awaiting the loser of that game, with the winner going to the grand final. And this is hit hard down the line, and a nice play. Stephen Welsh picks it up, throw across the diamond.
Wow, what a play.
Stephen Welsh first with the bare hand, and then he gets the throw across the diamond in time. Take a look at this.
And have a look, he had 2 options. His bases, it's a forced play here with runners at first and second. He realised that he couldn't make that play to the base and makes that throw. Unbelievable.
We'll catch our breaths and be back just after this. Well, take a look at this crowd. You can see it a little bit in this shot. This is bigger than some bike games out here.
It certainly is. Not as many behind right behind home plate, but if you pan down on the both sides, both baselines, first and third, you'll see there's quite a few people, isn't there?
And there's just balloons of the two colored blues and the white for Sturt. They're looking for the double. This would be the first ever double in the women's and the men's competition if Sturt can pull this one off tonight, which would be a pretty cool little tick to have as well too.
Very much so.
Goodwood just missed out on that last year. Their women lost in the grand final, but their men won it. But it's great to have that women's competition thriving as well too. Well, Jackson Brebner-Russ versus Josh Cakebread leads it off. Goodwood put up 2 in the first. Sturt punched back with 2 in the second thanks to a Matt Macbeth RBI that tied the game up. And now a good part of the lineup. You've got Cakebread, Creswell, Child, and then Welsh and Pett if you can get there. That's the stuff of nightmares if you're an opposing pitcher.
It certainly is. And with Jackson, he'll be thinking the momentum's come back his way, so he's going to be feeling good about that.
Well, we'll see how this one goes here. As this one slides in there, it's another ball. It's a 2-1 count. We're getting dripped on in the commentary booth if you're by a leaking pipe somewhere in the back thing. I know, no kidding. Lots of dangers at the ballpark right now. We'll see if Josh Cakebread can get on base, and he does. So he takes a walk. So it's a leadoff walk from Jackson Brebner-Russ. So that's not the guy that you want to put on base in Josh Cakebread. He's a savvy base runner as well too. He actually scored the first run of the game. And Jeremy Creswell, that dynamic duo for so many of the years, will step up to bat, and he will get ready to go. Jeremy Creswell will pull up some of his numbers for you on the season as he takes this pitch. Creswell hit, well, he was second in voting in the Caps, and he hit .426 on the season. That is a great year for him. He only had the 1 home run, but he had 24 RBIs sitting in the middle of the lineup. Creswell and Cakebread were both struggling to start the season in the Super League, and they heated up and led their team to a championship. So that's a big start for them. But .426 on the year for Jeremy Creswell.
There we go, mate. We're back alive.
We're back live. We're looking here good. Lots of people joining us from all over the world. Good day to Tom Jacobson watching in England as well, too. He helped out a lot with Baseball SA and the Bite this season. Feel free to comment below in the stream, and we'll interact with you. We want to hear what you have to say about Sturt. You guys know more about your clubs that you're supporting than we do. Yes. So we love to hear from you. And it's back-to-back walks. So Jackson Brebner-Russ walks the dynamic duo in Creswell and Cakebread.
And again, this is where we talk about momentum and who has it. And for Jacko right here, he's got to knuckle down on, and the threat of this offense, you got to go fine, but you can't go too fine. You can't give up those guys. You still got to make them get their hits. Walks that's why we talk about free bases, and that's a big thing that Tank's been on this year is free bases, and you can see there's 2 free bases that you've given up, and that can cost you.
Now we talk about free bases, and especially the timing of that, because you got Dylan Child, who's already got an RBI double this game, Steph Welsh, who's got an RBI infield out this game, and then Brendan Pett, the batting champion, are due up 1, 2, 3, and then Michael Gaughan, who's having a great hitting season. This is a horrible part of the lineup to put runners on first and second with nobody out.
That's right.
And Dylan Child hits this one, but it could be timely. There's one. Throw to first. Does he get 2? And he does! It's a tough part of the lineup, but it's made a lot easier if you can turn a double play like that. Cakebread advances to third, but Creswell and Child are out.
And this is an interesting part of baseball here. You can see one thing there, Dylan just opening his shoulder up a little and just trying to do too much with that ball. Rather than stay on that breaking ball and driving that, he's just come open and pulled that ball over to shortstop. Now, some people might turn around at some point. When do you bunt? When do you look at hitting? You got to let the guy hit away right here. He's just gone and hit a double. But right there you can see he's just opened his shoulder just at the wrong time to force that double play.
This one gets inside on Welsh, so he takes the first pitch. He's not a stranger to taking bats here.
Well, he led the league in the Adelaide Bite in walks.
Yeah, he did, and he didn't have a great season with the bat, but he is patient and he is able to get on base, so he's able to contribute all over the place. And Stephen Welsh has been a big-time player for a long time for this ball club.
And we've got Beck Cat calling from Montreal in Canada. Hello to Beck.
That's a big name in the Sturt baseball community, the Cat name.
Well, as we said, we got the Fred Cat Phil White Perpetual Trophy, the local derby out there now between the two teams.
And Steph Welsh rips this down the line. That's going foul. Great to see all of these people from all over the world tune in, and we can really expand the baseball community. Eric Ballnar and Goodwood's own Scott Pratt joining us here. It's been a very entertaining ball game so far, but there was runner at first and second and 2 out, and now we're at 2 outs and on third, and they are really hard pressed. Goodwood need to take advantage of these opportunities right here. This will be a feeling of disappointment if they don't take any runs home from this. Yeah,
I agree, and well done to Jacko right here. He's got the double play with that ball down the middle before with the Childs. So right now he's starting to feel a bit looser, but you can't feel too loose with the Sheriff up to bat.
We'll see what Stephen Welsh can do. 2-2 count, it's 2 outs. Welsh swings through this one. That's a huge strikeout from Jackson Brebner-Ross. It's his first of the day. He walked the first 2 with no outs, and he gets out of the jam. Jacko's going to be feeling pretty good about that one. He's going to build on that confidence for sure.
Oh, that's a definite confidence booster there to try and come up against Steph Welsh, and you can see he threw a great pitch and very happy with himself, and that just settles him down right there. And he will be feeling good about himself to get through that heavy traffic of Goodwood. And Steph would not be happy with that performance there. But again, you know what? He puts that in the memory bank and he'll come back bigger and stronger. But a good momentum switch. That looked like it was going to be a ball that was going to break, come back in, and it just kept sailing away. So
yeah. He was unhappy about that, you could see too.
Well, we talk about one of the things with Jacko, he can move that ball and to get that two-seam that can just drift away, and that just seems to just keep drifting a little bit, not too much, but a good out there.
Well, good for Jackson. I mean, he allows 2 runs to start the game. You're not feeling great from that, but he's got through the next 2 innings okay. Quick shout out to Cam from London, UK. How about Stuart?
He's a great guy.
Great guy.
Stewie.
From New Zealand, Paul watching.
Giggles, he's an ex-Goodwood guy, or he's a Goodwood guy.
And Jan from the Czech Republic, watching his Czech boys do some work. You've got Jackson Brebner-Ross. You've got Terrell Joyce in this game. Good at a Czech connection as well too. I'm probably missing a couple guys that have played in that competition as well too. But that is awesome to see. And here's a guy that plays in the German league, Wilson Lee, your Caps medalist. What a season he had.
And here we go now, Eric. We're looking at 2, 3, 4, 5 for Sturt. So it's back into Sturt's corner here.
Lee, Ridding, Joyce, McCardle, Roger. Hello, how you doing? And he swings through that one.
And back on the front of, they scored 2 last innings. So the momentum is here with Sturt. So really important here for Tyler to knuckle down and get his pitches right.
Well, it was great to have a few conversations with the supporters that were filing in, and you've got a few great shots on this broadcast already of the crowds. One of them, being the Hutton family as well too. Yes. Dave Hutton, he bleeds blue as well.
And here we are in the Mark Hutton stand.
And we're in the. He said he has to sit. He said he couldn't sit down the first base line because he's got to sit in his son's grandstand for the game, which is pretty cool. But even Sturt guys like Paul Mildren, this would mean a lot to them as well
Paul
too.
Mildren's tuned in.
He's watching the game as well too. Wilson Lee, though, I'm sure he's got a few people up in the NT watching this. They're Caps medalist. It was a whitewash on Wednesday night. 2-1 count. Caps medalist to the plate. This one goes outside. So Willie's showing his patience right here. What a season Wilson Lee had this year.
And you can see there Tyler snapping that slider off. Not missing by much, but keeping it down.
On base percentage of .526 Willie this year, so 1 out of every 2 bats he's on. He wasn't on the first at bat, so that tells me he's got to get on for sure here.
Look, you know that he's going to come out swinging, and he's going to come good sooner or later.
And he swings at that one. He just gets under a little bit. That shot foul. Ben Wigmore looking at that one, and that drifts into the Sturt grandstand. Well, you know what? The grandstands were brought in this season compared to last. It really has brought it in, which making the atmosphere for these sort of games way more festive. Even the black on the outfield fence, and you can see all the balloons in the Sturt grandstand as well, too.
I think tomorrow night we'll see some red and black coming out, red, black and white.
Tomorrow night will be big. It always is. It's one of my favorite Saturdays as Willie Lee will go and walk to first base. And it's because you've got a triple header. You've got Divvy 3, Divvy 2, Divvy 1. And people, you know, after those games, they have a couple beers, they stick around.
Yes.
And then softball's got a jam-packed action of grand finals and semifinals as well, too. So good luck getting a part.
This place will be pumping, that's for sure.
Well, think about to last year, that great game, too, that Goodwood came from behind that needed to win. Darren Fitch barreling down the line. Think about that crowd and the roar that you heard from that as well last year.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
Dylan Ridding up to bat. He grounded out 5-3 last time. He's looking down to bunt, and he misses that. And
here we go. We can see the difference here. Sturt looking to play the short game early, putting the bunt there for Ridding to move the runner over. Unfortunately, Goodwood got caught in not playing the short game and rolled a double to hurt him in that innings. So, you know, it's these little things. Do you put the bunt down early in the third innings? Do you let the guys hit? How do you go with that? Dylan Ridding up to bat, taking the bat out of his hand early, and now he's swinging. You know, all it needed Childs to hit another double, and Goodwood scored 2 runs, but unfortunately he hits a ground ball. That's baseball, you know, and that's the joys of it all.
Nervy times, though, for Tyler Thompson. It's such a tough middle of the lineup. It's such a big out. You can't let Terrell Joyce come to the plate with no outs and 2 runners on. You'll be swinging as this one is fouled away, and he gets the count. It's 1-2.
And we'll have Millie, has said he'll be out tomorrow night, so the great Paul Mildren will be fantastic to see him out here.
It's going to be packed tomorrow night. I hope the canteen has the bar stocked and the canteen flushed with some food. It's going to be a great atmosphere. If you need something to do, it's your last huge baseball game in South Australia till the Super League starts back up in October.
That's right.
And this is hit hard. This is over to second. Could they turn 2? There's 1. Throw to first.
There it is.
The dynamic duo does it again. Wilson Lee retired. Dylan Ridding retired. It's cake bread to Creswell to Wigmore. We have said this for years.
We have, haven't we? And that's vintage baseball and another double play, you know. And there's great defense here in both teams. And we're going to see some great defense. We're going to see some great offense. And again, it's that point. Do you roll the short play in the third innings? What do you do? Unfortunately, it didn't come off. Then you get a double play. So this is the tactics of this great game.
Well, Terrell Joyce, how this at-bat changes with Terrell Joyce, nobody on compared to someone on. And this is hit into the outfield, and diving Stephen Welsh can't quite grab it. So Terrell Joyce opens his account with his first hit of the grand final series. He's aboard, and Jordan McCardle, who hit a home run his last at-bat, steps up again, and he's playing with some vengeance right now.
He certainly is, and there's no doubt about it. You don't poke an angry bear, and Jordan McCardle, unfortunately, getting released. He would be coming here to go, I got a point to prove. I can play this game better than anyone. So let's watch him as we saw him hit that long ball to left field, opposite field power. An interesting moment there before, just jump back. Ridding gets that ball down. Terrell gets that hit. The run scores.
You're absolutely right. It's such a small game of margins, those little differences.
And look, do you go bunting early when you've got offensive power of Sturt? You know, and this is the great thing about this game. Ifs, buts and maybes, the little things that happen.
Well, it's been a pretty action-packed first 3 innings of the game. If this is what it's going to be like all weekend, well, let's hope this weekend lasts for a while. But that goes right over the plate. It's a 1-1 count.
You know, I was thinking about this today, and it's like the scene is set for a crackerjack final series, and not only am I excited because my club's in it, but I think both teams we've got the 2 best teams,
and it's a derby,
the local derby.
Well, and it's just a bit different too. I mean, club ball, going to the fields on a local Sunday afternoon, it's great. There's a great atmosphere. But when you are playing with a bit of a bigger stadium, under the lights, the TV cameras on, the walk-up music going, grandstands filled with opposing sides on that neutral ground, it has that bit of more of a tense atmosphere than you sometimes get just on your local ground, which is the bright lights of West Beach here.
It certainly does, and there is no doubt it's a bit like a racehorse on a Saturday. They know that they're going to go out running, and an old racehorse, they chomp around the bit on a Saturday because they can feel the juices. You can see Cakebread, Welsh, Creswell, Wigmore, Bryce, you know, all these guys, Roger, they're all, this is back at their home. This is where the juices are flowing, and they want to play ball at this moment.
You play for these moments, and this is a huge weekend for both of these clubs. Jordan McCardle, 3-1 count. We'll see if he gets the green light here, and he's just going to watch that go wide. And how much more magnified is that double play now that there's a runner on first and second with Angus Roger, who's already got an RBI this game, coming up to bat.
Oh yeah, this is now a serious time here for Tyler Thompson to make sure that he gets his pitches right, because this can really cause some damage here.
Well, I've known Angus since I came to this state, you know, 5-6 years ago now, and Angus, one of the first things that he mentions to you is he plays club ball at Sturt. He is Sturt through and through. This means the world to him. He's contributed in a big way with an RBI to get the second, or he didn't have the RBI, so he scored the second run with that great dive,
yes,
to slide in there, and you saw the celebration on him, and he's got a big chance to keep inflicting some damage right here for the double lose.
And you can see there Tyler Thompson coming in with that slider to get things going. He's not going to see too many fastballs, I can guarantee you right now. And this is where Tyler is his craftiest best, and he has to be at his best here.
You saw Jackson Brebner Russ with runners on first and second and nobody out get out of it. Now Tyler Thompson's turn. He's got 2 out, but it's 2 out hitting that's been a big difference. Matt Macbeth had that big hit in the last inning to tie it up, and that's what we're going to be looking back for on Sunday when we're recapping the grand final series, is who had those hits in those big 2 out moments with a runner on.
That's right.
Angus Roger. Can he settle in? It's a 1-1 count. Tyler Thompson battling away here. Both teams with scoring opportunities. Both teams have capitalized. Both teams have pulled out some great double plays so far. Both pitchers with key strikeouts. A little bit of everything so far, but it's a 2-1 count, so Roge in a kind of count that he likes.
You can see there Ian Revel has got that strike zone is very tight, so he's not giving anyone anything. And again, umpire of the year, him and Neil Poulton. So, you know, you got to earn your pitches. You got to throw your strikes.
2-1 count. Roger swings through that one, but that just had a bit of a break on it. That fooled him a little, so it's a 2-2 count with 2 outs.
And this is where Tyler is slippery. You can see that was a slower breaking ball than the first one. So, you know, you get set and you know, here comes a breaking ball. It's at this speed. Now he's taken 2 or 3 miles off, and that's all he needs to do to get his timing right.
Big moment in the game here. The crowd with a bit of a hush over it. He struck him out.
What a pitch.
He got the corner, and Angus Roger goes down looking with a runner in scoring position. We're through 3. The score's tied at 2. Buckle in, tell your friends, share it around. We'll be back just after this, I guess, replay right here of the pitch.
What a pitch it was. Dang, coming in with that fastball. Tip your cap, Angus, and great pitch there by Tyler Thompson.
We'll see you on the other side. Well, back at it here, Stephen Welsh. He struck out Brendan Petzory steps up. He's the SABL batting champion this year. He led the whole competition. We talk about how great this Sturt batting lineup is, but Brendan Pett batting .439 on the year in 26 games. Really just silly numbers. He had 6 home runs, 27 RBIs. What a contributor Brendan Pett has been. Another guy that's played for the Adelaide Bite before. This goes outside.
Yes.
More shout-outs, by the way. Stephen, all the way from Coffin Bay watching.
Yeah, good, true Goodwood boy there. And Samantha Pett, the Pett family synonymous with the Goodwood Baseball Club. And
a swing through that one, so the batting champ goes down on strikes. And a big shout out, of course, to one of the biggest baseball fans that I have ever met is, believe it or not, from the small country of Slovenia. Hannah is watching. She's a diehard baseball fan.
Fantastic.
She knows more about baseball. She's forgotten more about baseball than I know.
Is that right?
She massive baseball fan, not just the MLB, but a diehard Japan fan. She knows the local competition, watches everything. So
awesome.
A shout out to Hannah watching as well too.
This game is worldwide.
This game is worldwide, and Michael Gaughan steps into the plate. Michael Gaughan had a big, speaking of Japan, how about with the Adelaide Bite this year as a pitcher? In a big he out-dueled Shota Imanaga in a memorable game at West Beach Hears. This is chopped over to third. McCardle charges in, throw over to first, and there's an out. 5-3, so it's 1-2, but I was just going to say Michael Gaughan out-dueled Imanaga. He went unbelievable. He went 7 shutout. How exciting was that?
It was unbelievable, and to sit back and watch those two go head-to-head, you know, there it is, the young Australian coming up against one of the all-time superstars. That was just awesome to watch, and again, we can't speak highly enough of Michael Gaughan.
Imanaga, the starting pitcher for the Japan national team, and he's actually the opening day starter for the Bay Stars as well this weekend when the Japan League gets underway. The MLB just opened up the season in Japan. Did you catch any of that?
I haven't had a chance. She's been a busy week for us here.
Look, just jump on YouTube and type in Ichiro. Some really touching scenes in
that was the throw. I saw the throw that he threw the guy out at third.
And he also had it. Well, that was in the exhibition. But Ichiro had his final game before retiring in front of Japan. They pulled the whole field off in the eighth inning. The crowd going absolutely crazy. Kikuchi, who actually pitched in Australia, was the pitcher for the Seattle Mariners. He was crying when it was going off. Wow. It was a really special scene in Japan, and that was really, really cool.
That's awesome.
So Ben Wigmore going to chop this over, and it's Jordan McCardle. What a play and a throw to first. Jordan McCardle has factored into a few plays over at third base. He's not known for playing third in the ABL at least, but that's a few really nice plays from the kid.
He certainly isn't known for playing third, but he's jumped right out, and you can have a look here on the replay. It takes the ball up, and he goes across and gets it on that rise and makes a good play to get Ben Wigmore out at first.
Well, Jackson Brebner-Russ allowed 2 runs in the first inning, but since then he's got through 3 clean. What a great job of him settling down, because that had the potential with this lineup here to spiral out of control. Shows the quality of JBR that he's been in this competition this season.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the thing. He's settled down nicely. He's thrown his pitches. He's got some good outs at some good times, some key outs, especially after we saw last innings where he threw those the 2 walks and then he settled himself down. So he'd be very happy with that. And now here we come back to an interesting thing we talk about in baseball. 7, 8, 9 wins your premierships. And, you know, a lot of clubs work hard to get those 7, 8, 9 to produce. And here we come up where last innings we saw both Macbeth and Lightbody come through with the goods. So, again, we're at 7, 8, 9 for Sturt Saints as they come in to the bottom of the 4th.
Well, they played January 6th and January 8th, and Goodwood won 4-2 and 12-1. I got to take a look at the schedule here. Is that the last time? This is unconfirmed. I think West Torrens might have had a win in there somewhere. Is that the last time that Sturt has lost?
I think it is, yeah.
That's unbelievable. Yep. And we talked about momentum a lot so far in this broadcast. Goodwood, 13 of 14 heading into this one. Sturt, 18 in a row.
Yes.
It's something has to give.
Yeah, well, something has to give when these two come head-to-head.
I mean, if you combine those games and you say it's the last 32 games or whatever it looks like between the 2 teams, 1 loss between them, that will equal that tonight in the 1 game.
That's right.
It's crazy.
It is.
Matt Macbeth leading things off. William Wirth, leading things off. Matt Macbeth on deck. Matt Macbeth had that big RBI, and this is going to be sprayed out to right field. Is this going to drop? Sliding in there. And that is a catch over in right field.
Great catch there by Michael Garn. Great work. And
huge.
You can see that ball dies away, and that ball just kept tailing away. And he had to stay right on that to make that catch. So well done there by Michael Garn to get that first out.
Matt Macbeth had an RBI double to tie this game up in the second inning. Goodwood put 2 up in the first. Sturt responded with 2 in the second, and now we're easing into the game. A few really nice plays, especially from third base. They don't call it the hot corner for nothing.
Certainly is.
2 bite players manning that side as well too. Matt Macbeth drops this in there. Once again, thank you very much for joining us. Click that share button. Let everybody know what you're watching on your Friday night. It's time well spent right here. It's a great game. So shoot those texts off and tag your friends and say you might want to tune into this one.
You better tune in, because this is a crackerjack game. You wouldn't want to be doing anything else on a Friday night, I can tell you. And interesting here, Tyler's got himself ahead of the count. 2 strikes. This is where let's see where he goes with the payoff pitch. Up high with a breaking ball to get Macbeth out.
So that's, well, Jackson Brebner-Russ had 3 quick outs the last inning, and now Tyler Thompson has the first 2 down pretty quickly with...
and that's his 5th K for the day.
Look at that. That's exactly... That's why you bring this in. You know what? You have an import over, especially if it's a pitcher, to win this baseball game right here.
That's right.
Well, a Wasp player for you. I know you're a Goodwood man through and through, Pratty, but you got a soft spot for those Wasp players like Mitchell Lightbody.
I do have, for the Wasp players, and especially for Mitch Lightbody. I think he's a great kid. He goes about it really well. He loves the game. He works hard, and I do wish him all the best after this series.
Lightbody chops this one foul. Been great to watch his development as well, to come up through the ranks.
And look, we picked him early in the draft, and we picked him early for a reason. Not only with his offensive, he's got a good glove, and he's a good guy to have in any club.
Earlier today, Chris Adamson, the manager for the Bite Knives, this is grounded up the middle. Great diving play. Can he make the play at first? Throw it at first, and he's safe. Oh, Josh Capebread laid out to grab that ball, but how about the hustle from Mitch Lightbody? That's 2 infield singles from him.
Watch this on the replay. You watch 2. He's shortened up the handle. He's looking to punch hit the ball. He gets it, and look at him beat up the line. Look at the determination to get up the line. The little things make the big difference there. We call that Charlie hustle. You hustle up the line. Speed doesn't slump in this game, Eric. If you beat that out, you get yourself safe. 2 out, you got a runner on base. Now you come to the top of the lineup. That's quality baseball right there. That's why we picked that kid.
Mitch Lightbody, he's gonna go on the run now though, and this is fouled away. But Mitch Lightbody, remember in that second inning, he put one down the third base line rather, on that bunt that just sort of stretched out a little bit. But Steph Welsh had to barehand it and zip it over there. And again, who beat it out? Mitch Lightbody. That's twice he's done that now. That's gonna play at some point.
Speed doesn't slump there, and
great save.
And it is such a true saying. You know, in this game, you can create things with your speed.
Zach Becker saying hello,
Zach
Brady.
Becker had him in the Seahawks. Absolute great guy to have in the team, and a superstar. I look forward to watching him get better over the years. He could be out here for the Sturt Saints before we know it, pitching for them.
So those unfamiliar with the charter system here in South Australia, the Sturt and the Goodwood players, they grow up playing together on the charter teams and sort of that all-star teams of that part of the suburbs.
And I actually
the mighty South.
I actually went to his mum and dad's wedding.
Hit pretty hard over towards left field, and this drops in. Harry Nucky has a hit, and with 2 outs, we have runners on first and second for the Caps medalist. This is where it counts right here for Wilson Lee. 2 outs and a runner on first and second. 2 players playing small ball. They put the ball in play, and good things happen.
Certainly does, and you can see there that Harrison Nucky not trying to do too much, just got good bat on ball.
Well, let's see what happens here. Wilson Lee has got off to he walked the last at-bat, but he's 0 for 1 officially. He struck out looking the first time. He's probably due for a hit. He swings at the first one. This one chops foul, but he's true to his on-base percentage of .563 on the season. Gee whiz.
Tommy Becker shouting out Saltman. Long story, but Salt does get the red wine stains out of your carpet. Folks at home, make note of that.
Might be a story behind this, Pratty, yeah, well, I feel like.
Tom was our pitching coach for the Seahawks, and I went to him and Mel's wedding. And yeah, again, the relationships of the Seahawks, and was with Tom in the Adelaide Giants days.
Another Sturt man.
Another Sturt man, a great, one of the greats of the game. Former professional player with the Yankees.
Yeah, the Yankees organization.
Yep. And also with the Adelaide Giants. And geez, he could throw a hard ball.
Tom Becker, great supporter of local sport.
Yes.
I know he's stepped up with sponsorships in baseball and in ice hockey as well too. Really cares about the community, so great to hear and see both the Becker boys tuning in here. And a swing through this, Willie Lee was swinging for the fences, but he came up with a bit of air on that one.
And again, the crafty work of Tyler Thompson there with that breaking ball, knowing that that's a time where Willie Lee's going to open up to try and drive that ball, and he gets that breaking ball in there nicely.
1-2 count. Tyler Thompson with 5 strikeouts on the day. Can he get out of the jam with strikeout number 6 in the call time? A lot of people still filtering in here, but I've seen a few people from a few other clubs even just coming to check out what should be a fantastic weekend. We'll settle back in for the 1-2 count.
I think we're at 144 viewers as well. So there's a lot of people around.
Just outside.
Wow, what a pitch.
Well, you saw him earlier with the runner in scoring position, freeze him just on an outside pitch as well too. So Tyler Thompson, he's got a few different pitches that he can unleash here. And
for Willie Lee to hold off on that one, that's disciplined batting right there.
Well, Willie Lee will swing, and often with results. 2-2 count. Willie Lee swings at that one. It's chopped to the right field. Should be playable. Michael Gaughan moves under this one, and he steadily moves under that. So Willie Lee flies out to Michael Gaughan to end the inning. The first 2 retired, and then a couple nice plays. It's a 2-2 game through 4. It's whipping by, and it's a great one so far. We'll see you on the other side of the break. Well, under the bright lights at West Beach, it's the Division I Grand Final. It's the local derby, Sturt versus Goodwood. Pratty, I mean, we've talked about it a little bit, but tell us a little bit about the rivalry. You're a Goodwood man. You've been the president of the club before.
No, not the president. I've just about done everything else.
But everything else, though. Okay, you've done everything else but that. But tell us about the rivalry with Sturt, how good it is to beat them, and how crappy it is to lose to them.
Well, what more can I say? You've pretty much summed it up in one right there. Look, it's a fierce rivalry, but it's also, there's some, obviously through the Seahawks, there's some good relationships, and we're very close to each other. So I don't think there's too much in distance. I think they said it's about 1.3 Ks away from each other. As Toby Baldock drops a bunt down, he stopped, unsure of it, wasn't sure what was going on, and gets thrown out. Right there, trying to put that running bunt down. There's a saying with that, you got to go all sorts of different ways. They say it, fine or foul, get it down the line. You don't want to get that one straight back to the pitcher. That's a routine out right there. So Toby will be pretty upset with himself on that one. And now we get back to the top of the lineup with Owen Hughes.
So this is where it gets interesting, because now we're going 3rd time through the lineup as a pitcher, as a player. Talk me through that. You go through once, you go through twice. Do things change when it goes the 3rd time through?
100%. This is where the game really takes another step forward. You've seen the guy twice. You start to think about what he pitches, when he pitches, where he pitches.
And there's a hit down over towards 3rd once again. Jordan McArdle factored a lot in this throw to first.
That's a great play there by Jordan McArdle. A long throw, and you know, ex-catcher Jordan McArdle slides in at the 3rd base there, still able to use that strong arm of his. But yeah, you've seen each other a couple of times, right? So now you start thinking, what does he throw me and when does he throw me? Not only that is the pitch count starting to creep up. So all of a sudden we're getting into the 50, 60 mark. You know, so it starts to get a bit challenging. That fastball doesn't have as much pop on it. That two-seam doesn't have as much run on it. All of a sudden it sits around. So you also got to change. Do you throw fastballs ahead? Do you throw breaking balls to get ahead? So you've got to mix it up a little. So very interesting game here.
Josh Cakebread reached on an error and then he had a walk. You talk about the adjustments that are being made, but this pitcher, Jackson Brebner-Russ, is getting stronger as the game goes on. He started off a bit patchy, but it's 8 straight batters retired.
And some pitchers do that. Once they get into rhythm, they get into that rear back and throw, and they get into, and that's the whole thing where you can't let a pitcher get into a rhythm, and you've got to do some little things where you need a hit, you need a running bunt to drop down and get on, just to break that game up a little bit somehow, to get him out of his rhythm, that all of a sudden you get a runner on first and he's got to go from a set rather from a wind-up. That little thing can make a difference.
This is chopped over towards short. It's a bit difficult off that hop, but throw to first, and it's another 1-2-3 inning. Well, good for Jackson Brebner-Russ. First inning allows 2 runs and a few hits in that, courtesy of Dylan Child and Stephen Welsh. Then he gets 3 out of 4 that he faces in the next 2 innings, and then he's gone 1-2-3, 1-2-3. So Jackson Brebner-Russ giving them the start that Sturt needs, especially for this offense.
That's right, and again, like we talked about, he's now sitting up in a wind-up. He's relaxed. He's just going at him, going at him, going at him. You need to get a runner on here to get him from a set position to change things up. So yeah, hats off to JBR right now. He's in a groove. Speaking of a groove, Tyler Thompson, we've got a pitcher's duel going on right here. JBR with only 1 strikeout, Tyler Thompson with the 5, and there we go. We've got to look at the crowd there.
That's awesome. Some Goodwood players running around. What a great event out here. A lot of juniors out here. Your boys out here watching the game?
Yes, and he's not tonight. He's home tonight, so I'll shout out to Cooper, and he'll be here tomorrow night. And he played volleyball tonight, so couldn't get down here. The interesting thing, there he is, the great man himself, Darren Fidge.
Darren Fidge, by the way, has pitched in 20 straight final series.
Here's the thing now, that is a great record, 20 straight final series. We talk about game 2 last year. He hits a ground ball to second, and he beats it up the line, tears his muscle, gets safe.
And that's the winning run.
We win. He beat it up the line, busted out to get up there, tears a muscle off his bone. We win the game because of him hustling up the line.
Well, we've talked a little bit about, I mean, we said guys like Angus Roger, they bleed blue, it means so much to them, but is there a guy that's more Mr. Goodwood than Darren Fidge?
Well, there's a few. There's a few. But there isn't too many. A great guy, a great club guy, just a great guy to have around our club, and what a superstar.
Well,
Caps medalist, 3 times Caps medalist. I think it's 5 or 6 best and fairest for Goodwood. You know, ABL star, superstar, unbelievable.
Well, here we go. We've got Dylan Ridding up to bat. We've talked about Generation Sturt a little bit in terms of guys like McCardle, Lightbody, and guys like Ridding sort of all coming up and getting an opportunity, that younger generation, and guys like Harry Nucky. Those are 4 core players in your lineup that really doesn't suggest that Goodwood's going anywhere, or Sturt, sorry, is going anywhere anytime soon.
Oh, no, they're here for the long haul. They have rebuilt this club beautifully. You know, they didn't make the finals last year. They've spent some time. And, you know, as we see here with the pitch from Tyler Thompson, just if you look back over Sturt, they have been unlucky over the years. They have had so many guys that have gone and got signed and gone on to professional baseball. There is a list a mile long of those guys. And now they've got a chance here with the core group of young players that's going to build this club for a long time. What a pitch.
Big pitch right there, and a big strike thrown as well, too. That's strikeout number 6, I believe.
Yes, it is.
And he's done it in a few different ways. He's got him looking, he's got him swinging.
And this is the craftiness of Tyler Thompson. He'll throw that slider away, and then he'll run that fastball in, and he's got different speeds that get the timing wrong. And that's the key. All you need is to get that timing just a little out, and that was a hard fastball inside. A beautiful pitch there.
Terrell Joy steps up to plate. He got on the board with a single his last at bat. Well, local players, or local imports, I should say, Terrell Joyce and Chris Bergholder, played together in the Czech Republic, and they broke quite a lengthy premiership drought for their club in the Czech Republic, and they were saying it was crazy. They had people that, you know, had been part of the club for 60 years that were coming down to watch this. Terrell Joyce moves to Sturt and trying, he's on the verge of breaking another drought for another long-awaited club.
We will see a packed house tomorrow night. There is no doubt about it. We've got a great crowd here tonight, and I'm sure Baseball SA would be very happy with what's had the turnout tonight. This is going to be a cracker of a weekend.
Well, it's not just that game too, as this is hit just on, or pitched just on the outside. It's the Division 3 game. You've got a big one there between Adelaide and Glenelg. That's at 10:30 in the morning. West Torrens and who's playing in the second game? West Torrens and Sturt again in the Division 2. They could go. Could Sturt go Division 1, Division 2, and the women's?
They could. Well, yes, you could say they could. Yes.
But they are...
I'm not agreeing with you, but yeah.
Yeah, they could. It's a possibility.
And here we go, full count. 1 out. Terrell Joyce, the number 4 hitter for Sturt.
And Jordan McCardle on deck as well, too. This outside, and McCardle's got a runner on for the guy in the middle of the lineup they really need. Jordan McCardle won a grand final when he played for West Torrens 2 years ago in what was a very memorable series versus Port Adelaide.
And this is where, as a purist in baseball, these are the battles that you want to see here. So now you got 1 out runner at first. You got Jordan McCardle coming up to bat here as Tyler Thompson, as we hit into the bottom of the 5th. This is baseball at its finest.
Well, Soup Dog, you got another shout out from Matt Miles.
Oh, hey Matty, nice to see you. I got Mark Brom here shaking my head back there. Thank you, Mark.
You come for the baseball, you stay for Soup Dog.
Well, entertaining. It's
West Torrens versus Southern District. Sorry,
thanks,
is what it is.
Good to Stephen Hutchins.
We rely on them. We rely on them and the Hutchins family to make sure we're keeping shape here. So apologies for the misinformation, but get down there, everybody, to watch triple header and softball on here tomorrow as well too.
What a family, the Hutchins family. I played with Steve. And there we see Matt and Nick.
And there's another generation after that coming as well,
And there is another generation. There is. Abby is in the charter team for the Junior League.
Yeah, that's cool. There's the Hutchins family.
She can play too.
Oh, I know. I saw her play in that under 15 showcase game before one of the bite games. She's good.
She is.
There's a few good juniors, especially some women coming up as well too. I know Angela Mortius won the best and fairest in the under 15s as well too, which is pretty cool. Of course, Macy Pratt as well too. She's actually a commentator extraordinaire as well too.
She is.
We saw that with the ABL this year in Melbourne.
And she made the Seahawks Little League development team this week that came out. So. She likes to swing it pretty hard too.
Look out for those South Australian women coming up the system. There's some good ones coming up. Jordan McCardle, 2-2 count, runner on first. It's a 2-2 ball game. We're at the midway point through here, and that drops down low. Full count, huge at-bat coming. There's a big difference from having 1 runner on and 2 outs for Angus Roger and 1 out and 2 runners on. Little things, big difference. We'll probably repeat that phrase a few times this weekend.
Definitely will.
J-Mac, Jordan McCardle, the 2017 Australian Baseball League Rookie of the Year. Runner is going, and McCardle whacks this to right field. That's going to drop in. The Sturt crowd with a bit of a roar, and the runner will be held up at third, and Jordan McCardle has pushed the runners to the corners for Angus Roger coming up to bat.
Yeah, Jordan McCardle there proving he can go both sides of the field. Turning on that one, hitting that into the down the line. Very happy with that shot. And I just got to say there, well played there by Michael Garn. To be able to cut that off, that ball gets past him, you're going to score a run there with Terrell. So outstanding outfielding there by Michael Garn. Outstanding hitting there by Jordan McCardle.
Jordan McCardle has a home run, a walk, and a hit so far to advance that. So a big moment coming up here. By the way, Tim's saying that Macy swings it harder than you. Is this true?
Well, Tim Lavis is the head coach of the Seahawks Little League Development Team.
So he'd know.
And we actually won a premiership together in Div 3 and Div 1, so he does know how I swing it. So
trusted source.
Thanks Tim.
Great contributors here from the family here.
Brian Blanton, the Vortex, the secrets of hitting. We can talk about that when we don't have as an exciting moment as we do right now here.
We'll bring that up later. Don't worry, Brian. We'll get that up here. But right now, Angus Roger, 1-0 count. I'll tell you what, it's been a bit of a, here's a hit down to the line, and that gets through. Angus Roger's going to drive a run home for the Blues. And a runner's going to advance a third. Roger goes too far around the bag. It doesn't matter, that gets away, and Roger's going to get into second. But Angus Roger, he's scored a run on the dive, and he's driven one in, and Sturt are in front.
And you can see there, taking that ball to the right side, again the advantage of not trying to do too much with the ball, not trying to hit that ball out of the park, just staying within yourself and driving that ball. Very good hitting there by Roger.
Well, the Sturt went down 2-0, and they've come back with 3 runs, and it wasn't the long ball that Angus Roger's done all year. It was a little hit to right field that scores the run, and Roger, Mr. Sturt, contributing in a huge way.
But if we have a look at this, the inning started off with the Cater Ritting, a walk to Joyce. This is where you got no free bases. You give that free base, and unfortunately Tyler trying to work tight around him, and that's cost him there.
So William Worth, he has 0 for 2 on the game so far, but Tyler Thompson's had an adventurous last few innings. He's limited the damage, but we're on the verge here, 1 hit away of really starting to have it blow up just a little bit.
And we can see Darren Fidge is out in the bullpen now, getting himself loose. Tyler would be deep into the pitch count here. He's on a limit of 105, so you can rest assured that when he gets to that point, he'll be out of the game.
William Worth, though, up to bat. 1-0 count. You never know where the heroes are going to come from in this. Matt Macbeth had an RBI in the first to get Sturt on the board. Last year, the great story was Sammy Watkins, Matty Watkins. Sammy Watkins, a wide receiver in the NFL. Matty Watkins, he pitched in all 3 games. After having a blown save in game 1, he comes out as the winning pitcher in game 2 and tremendous relief, and then a great performance in the ultimate decider game 3. That was awesome to watch. And this is grounded over towards first. Should be an easy out. They'll hold the runner at third as well, too. That was very handy for Goodwood.
Very handy out. Very handy out right there. An interesting thing there with we talk about with Matty Watkins after that game 1. He was down, and I remember seeing him in the clubhouse, and I said to him, mate, the beauty of this game is you get another chance. You get another game. The ball will come back in your hand tomorrow. Don't worry about that. You've got to be ready for it. And it might not be your day, but it can be your moment. You can get another chance, and that's the beauty of this game. And then he comes out and gets the win, and then he comes out on Sunday and delivers. So great to see guys like that come back and do those sort of things.
So the Macbeth family, big Sturt traditionalists here. Matt Macbeth, 328 on the season, so he has had a fantastic year, Matt Macbeth, which is awesome to see. However, when you're picking those X-Factor players, for Sturt, you're probably picking Terrell Joyce, Wilson Lee, Jordan McCardle. If Matt Macbeth can come through a hit right here, it might be 3 RBIs on the game, and that's the big one. So huge opportunity for Matt Macbeth. And he swings at that one, foul ball. He's seen the ball so well all season long, Matt Macbeth.
You can see there Tyler getting behind in the count. You know, you've got to get ahead, stay ahead. So he's got himself behind. He's come in there with a hard fastball. That really came in with that had some velo on it right there. So now he's at the 1-1 count. So he's got to really, this is that battle between young and old. When you look at someone that works through their pitches, and Tyler's got plenty of pitches to work through. So we look forward to what he's going to go here with the 1-1 count, 2 out. Runners at second and third.
And he swings through that one. That's a good pitch, though, from Tyler Thompson. Matt Macbeth, it's a 1-2 count. He did it on a 2-2 count with 2 outs to get a much-needed game-tying run back in the second inning. That 2-out, 2-strike hitting. Let's see how he can come through here. He's got 2 in scoring position. Thompson, deep breath. Crowd with a bit of a hush.
That's a good pitch right there.
Nervy to hold off on that.
But some interesting stuff here, the way Tyler works, and you know, he's got 6 strikeouts for a reason. He's a crafty pitcher. So he's thrown that one hard and away. Now let's see where he goes here. My mail is, I'm guessing, for a 2-seam running in.
And he swings through that one.
Whoop.
7 strikeouts for Tyler Thompson. 2 left stranded, but Sturt do take the lead. We're in for a doozy in the last half of this game. It's 3-2 Sturt in Game 1 of the Division 1 Grand Final. We'll pause for a commentator's break. Well, take a look here. You got some Sturt folks in the crowd. Look at them decorate in that double blue and white. It's a good crowd tonight here. Remember, these are expanded grandstands from in the season. Saturday night in Baseball SA sort of tradition. It is a jam-packed night down here. It's going to be a cracker tomorrow. I think we could have 12 to 1,500 people tomorrow. I think there's probably about 600 to 800 people. There's some people out on the hill as well. There's people everywhere. There's people in the grandstand, people standing by the side. It's kind of cool to see it. What's that cap right there? That
is the local Derby Cup that we had, and Shane Martin's donated that from the Apple and Pear Association many years ago. I think it was back in 96, 97. And we would play the local derby. It was the Fred Catt and Phil White, 2 legends of both clubs. We put in their honour, and we would go head-to-head at the end of the season. The winner got the trophy and got the chocolates.
Well, Pratty, we're starting off here in the 6th inning, so we're getting to the second half of the game. But comment on there earlier about the hitting vortex as we have Jeremy Creswell lead this off. He's a great hitter. What on earth is the hitting vortex?
Look, it's a long story.
Don't have all day, but
we talk about the vortex, and you can see where a hitter's hands are. And thanks, Jeremy Creswell, perfect hitting, going opposite field. And look at the wheels of Creswell as he rounds first, heading to second for a 2-base hit. The lead-off hitter, get the lead-off on, and that was perfect hitting there. Ball on the outside, again, not doing too much, just keeping that shoulder in and hitting it where it's pitched. And you can see here where his hands are, bang in what we call the vortex. You can drive that ball with a lot more power through that zone there.
He was the runner-up in the Caps medal voting, and he really had a surge in the second half. He was not on the leaderboard for maybe the first 25 rounds, and all of a sudden it was 2 votes. Creswell, 3 votes. Creswell, he had a great second half of the year, didn't he?
And defense is unbelievable.
We've seen that today already.
So smooth in the infield.
Dylan Child has an RBI. Creswell scored this game already too. That was on the Welsh infield single.
And this is where we saw Dylan last time. Just got caught trying to do a bit too much with that last time where he rolled into that double play. Just opening his shoulder a bit. So here they've worked him in. 1-1 count, runner at second, none out. Top of the 6th.
Dylan Child swings at that one, that gets through. Creswell's going to advance to third. He's going to be held up there. So Jackson Brebner-Russ had retired 9 straight, and he allows back-to-back hits to start the 6th. Right in the middle of the lineup, it's runners on first and third. And Pratty, in the last half inning for Sturt, they started at batter number 3 in the lineup. and they brought him home to give him a lead, and they put a lot of pressure on that Goodwood defense. Same thing right here. Goodwood in response. They start at batter number 3, and it's 2 straight hits.
Well, this is the heart of your lineup, and this is where you need these guys to come through in these clutch times.
Well, Stephen Welsh comes to the plate. He's 0 for 2, but he grounded out on sort of a play where he was trying to put it in play, and he does it. Goes back to first again. Throw over to second, and Welsh is going to
off the bag.
Go in the double play. He's off the bag. Rogers fired up. Stephen Welsh has driven in the tying run, his second RBI of the game. Roger not happy about this. He's called off the bag. You called it before that throw even happened. We'll take a look at the replay here, but again, Stephen Welsh just puts the ball in play.
I even think at shortstop he's come off the bag as well.
Ooh.
See, his front of his foot hits the front of just in front of the base. He didn't get it right on the back there. If we can see that again in the replay. So the ball's hit the shortstop. I thought the throw took him off the base initially as well.
So that's 2 RBIs hit actually right to the same spot for Stephen Welsh. He puts the ball in play, and you saw him again running down there. He just checks if the runner scored. That's some selfless baseball from Stephen Welsh. That's 2 RBIs. It's a tie ball game, and we have a runner on first with 1 out. But yeah, ball, he called off the bag, but look, it started off Goodwood, 2 runs, 2-0, Sturt 3-2. Goodwood have tied it back. You mentioned the seesaw earlier.
Yeah, here it is. This is baseball. This is finals baseball. What? The seesaw effect. Each team's going to get their momentum, and we do need to let people know that there is a run scored on there for Goodwood. So it is 3-all. It's
3-3, and there's a runner out first. So Sturt 3, Goodwood 3. There it is, and 1 out. Brendan Pett, the SABL batting average leader. He swings at that one. He saw the pitch he wanted, but it's going to be floated over towards right field. Nucky moving under this one, and he gets the catch. So it's the 2nd out. Well, a threatening position once again. There's still a runner on first base, of course. Michael Gaughan up to bat. But again, both teams just sort of limiting the damage, even though both teams are putting themselves in position. This is what makes a great baseball game. Both teams putting themselves in favorable opportunities and making the other team make some good defensive or pitching plays in response.
Exactly, and you know, we talked about it again, the pitching of both teams. You know, you got Jackson Brebner-Russ, quality pitcher, Tyler Thompson, quality pitcher, great defense in the field. This is the crackerjack game right here. This is the game of baseball that we want to see.
Michael Gaughan, just outside. He's had a good year with the bat. He really only joined the team regularly after the Adelaide Bite season finished. And Michael Gaughan, for those that don't watch a lot of Adelaide Bite baseball, he's actually a pitcher for the Adelaide Bite, and he won the Rookie of the Year for the Bite team itself as a pitcher. Started off a little slow, but really found a groove later on in the year. But now we're watching him hit, so he's actually a good hitter.
He's an athlete. He definitely can play college ball. And Phil, we also need to thank Phil for these great stats that he's provided. Phil talks a story of he got himself through college by getting a job at college where he would clean the toilets, clean the whole college, and then do his baseball after that.
And he swings at that one. It's going opposite field, but Harry Nucky should settle under this one. So Sturt allow a run in that inning, and we go to the bottom of the 6th. We are tied at 3. This game has a few twists and turns in it. It's got a home run. It's got some double plays. It's got some key strikeouts with situation. It's had a bit of everything. What are we missing, Brady?
We're not missing anything here. This is, tell your friends to get on. We're at 184 viewers. Let's crack this 200 mark.
Let's do it.
Let people know that this is one of the games for the ages right here. And we see a pitching change. It's time now to say goodbye to Tyler Thompson with 7 strikeouts. 3 runs, and now we welcome Darren Fidge onto the mound. Yeah, we'll try to get the live stat line for you right here on Tyler Thompson, but the streak continues. He has not appeared in the finals yet, but they call him the specimen for a reason, Darren Fidge. He is a specimen, that's why. He's an absolute athlete, Darren Fidge, and you know, he's, I think he's now 42? 21 straight finals appearances now for Darren Fidge. Unbelievable. Well, you know, and we're going to talk about both clubs over the series. If we talk about Goodwood, in 99-2000, Mark Haylock came to the club. We were perennial, just making finals, just out in the first round. We needed a bit of difference. Ben Wigmore comes to Goodwood, and Mark Haylock comes to the club. And what a difference he made to our club. And that's hence we win in 99, 2000, first time in 47 years. Fidji, one of the key pitchers in that, and also making a big difference in our side, being available to pitch in finals. Turns our club around, and then all of a sudden we start winning finals, and we win that one, lose the next two, win the next one, you know, and now we're at 21 grand finals, premierships.
Looking for 22.
To beat
West
Torrens, and 22 is a favourite number of mine. So it'll be nice to get that 22.
Well, Tyler Thompson, his start comes to an end after 5, and I probably used the word, it was a good start. I'm not going to get wrong with that because he had some key strikeouts and at-bats, but it was an adventurous start. 5 innings pitched, 9 hits. He also had 3 walks, but he had 7 strikeouts, often in really key moments. He did give up the homer, only the 3 earned runs. It was a decent start for Tyler Thompson versus the most potent and powerful offense in recent memory versus Sturt. Job done, but now Darren Fitch comes to the mound, and he is, what, 43 years old, is it?
40, I'll say 42. Let's call him 42. Be happy with me saying that.
3.24 ERA, 8-5 in 16 appearances this year, and 77 innings pitched. 77 innings pitched, by the way, is the most innings pitched out of all the players on Goodwood, and he's had some crazy performances. He was one of the ones that helped inspire that innings or that pitch count rule in the finals as well. I think it was 3 years ago. Didn't he throw something like 270 pitches in a weekend? He certainly did.
He certainly did. And to Mary Ann Crawford, hello. Thank you very much. You're saying that. Yes, I am a good mate.
Fitch is probably 46. Oh, he's 44. There you go, Mary Ann Crawford.
Mary Ann, she would know. Steve Hutchings, probably 46. Is that your age, Steve?
Big weekend for Fidji. He actually coaches softball as well, too. He's got his under-17s in a grand final tomorrow.
Well, he's got...
Can he get the double in a day?
How would that be? He's got Ruby and Millie Fidge, both have, I believe, made the Australian teams in the softball. Both were in the state teams.
Yeah, I'm going to give you some breaking news and some shocking information out there, but the Fidge kids are athletic.
Newsflash, they can play.
Mitch Lightbody's pretty athletic too. He's had 2 infield singles. One, he forced Stephen Welsh to make a barehanded play. The other one, you love that hustle and heart of him getting down that first base line.
100%. And that's what you really want to see, that Charlie hustle. Get up the line and beat it out.
Mitch Lightbody at a 2-1 count. He really impressed me in the Super League this year, and that's sort of when you could see that he took that step forward. And he hit 400 at the bite, albeit in limited at-bats, small sample size, and this hits off to right field. But Mitch Lightbody was a guy that I know Chris Adamson loved to have in the dugout because he plays hard, he's smart, he's encouraging, he's a positive guy to have in there.
Yeah, 100%. And you know, one of the good things about Mitch is that he really dedicates himself to the game. He went over, played college ball, and worked really hard on his hitting, and that has paid off for him.
Mitch Lightbody getting ready here, and here's a pitch, and he chops this one foul once again. People watching all over the world, let us know where you're watching for. Nathan Davison watching from Vegas. He's over there. He's been on a scouting trip for the bite, but unable obviously to be here because that's where he is. But people from all over the world watching. We've got some from England. We've mentioned a Slovenian watching, although those Slovenians in Adelaide, but still around that mix there. We've got people from Canada watching.
Tim Brown, Goodwood boy.
Great to see this here too.
Let's see you all out here tomorrow night, hey?
Yeah, we want nobody on the stream. Nobody on the stream, just internationals. So if you're overseas, we want you down here. You can sit up near us if you want to hear our special comments. 2-2 count in what's been a good battle here for Mitch Lightbody. Swings through that one, and the battle is won by Darren Fitch.
And a great out there by Fitch. You can see the way he's working in and out, down and around, and that is vintage Fitch to know how he pitches to different hitters. And I reckon I have the best seat in the house, Eric, to be right side next to you. You know, I won't be biased in saying I think you're one of the best commentators going around in this country. So great to have you here with me, mate.
I'm grateful everybody listening and having some fun, but Darren Fitch, another good stat about him, 77.2 innings pitched this year, only 17 walks.
He knows how to throw strikes. Get ahead, stay ahead.
He's allowed a few hits, but when you throw strikes, that's going to happen. But that ERA suggests that he's still got it.
Well, you can see there, if people remember Darren Fidge in his Adelaide Giants days, he had the high leg kick and came hard over the top. And he's reinvented himself by coming with a bit of sidearm there. Just a different view, you know. If you, okay, we're talking. This is his 21st finals year in a row, so he's been around for more than 21 years. So people see him, and you see him, and you get to know what.
Especially in this community.
We talk about come about the 5th or 6th when you see the one pitcher. Come about the 5th or 6th year, you see Darren Fidge throwing the same stuff. So to reinvent himself at 44, amazing. We did it before he got to 44.
Yeah, he did it when he was with the bite.
Yeah,
trying
he
to
did.
He pitched. He
wanted to stay in the game.
He pitched almost every year for the Adelaide Giants. The bite, there's a gap in the ABL for almost a decade. He comes back and he pitches the first 6 years of the Adelaide bite. It's
That's
insane.
right.
And this is ripped hard. Harry Nucky blasts this over to left field. And this is who's got it started before. It's his second hit, Harry Nucky. And he really doesn't do anything fancy. He just puts the ball in play and, again, laces it to left field for the second time today.
And Harry probably wouldn't like me to say too much about this, but he is exactly like his dad. His dad didn't do too much with the ball, but you know, every time he come up to bat, he was a tough out, that he'd get bat on ball and he just got the base hits. He would just get it done. So now here you come up, you got Willie Lee now, you got one out, and you've got some speed on first base in Harrison Nucky.
Well, Willie Lee was joking in his interview when he won the Caps medal that his teammates about 3 weeks ago started just calling him Caps around the clubhouse. He was the hot favorite to win, and yeah, I don't even think Ladbrokes would have taken any bets on Willie Lee not winning it. He had an amazing year at the batting over 500. He had a sub-4 ERA as a pitcher, but he used to probably have a bit more dominant numbers as a pitcher. It's where his bat that he's really sort of yielded his craft a little bit coming up into here.
Yes, well, he signed with, I believe it was the Pittsburgh Pirates. He was a professional there, played a bit of professional ball, and you know, he can play many positions, and that is the one thing, is his bat is hot.
And this drops in. Big shout out to Jared Davis. He's volunteers the bite every single game. A massive Goodwood Indians fan as well too. Cleveland Indian fans. And he's grown up from the Giants watching Darren Fidge pitch now and then through with the bite. He knows his baseball as well too. And Helen Bushell.
Hello,
shout
Helen.
out to you.
Fantastic.
The Bushell family, yes. Another Goodwood family there. Another Bushell coming up in the ranks as well too. I'm hearing big things about.
Yeah, there is Jack Bushell, who's played Seahawks, played for Australia a couple of times, played in the Cal Ripken team that went over to America and played over there. So yeah, Jack is a up-and-coming superstar.
This is hit hard down the line. Does it fall? It doesn't. It's foul. It was going opposite field. Wilson Lee.
Following in the steps of his father, Jamie Bushell, who 3 times best and fairest for Goodwood, and one of our played over 800 club games at Goodwood, a legend of our club.
So it's a 2-2 count. Tough at bat here for a couple times in the row. He is 1 for 0 for, or he's what is Wilson Lee today? He got on with a walk. He's 0 for 2, but he does have a walk. Okay,
a walk and fly out to right field.
But so he's been a tough at bat. He takes his pitches here. And it's an important one because Dylan Ridding can move him around. They got to get this to 2 out from a Goodwood perspective. And swing through that one. It's a big pitch from Darren Fidge. Strikeout number 2 from the specimen.
And the great thing there with Fidge is he got himself ahead of the count. He got himself into an 0-2 count to throw a pitch that he could throw. And we saw before, Tyler got himself into a bit of trouble where he got behind in the count, and then he had to throw to hitters with not his pitch. You can see there Fidge gets ahead of the count, and then he can command and throw his pitch.
Dylan Ridding up to bat. There are 2 outs right now. Ridding another threat here, but again, he's 0 for 3 today, so something tells me that something's got to give at some point, and he swings at the first one. Down the line, played by Welsh. Throw across the diamond, what a play!
Unbelievable, Steph Welsh on the backhand. The half volley, picks it up and throws it across the diamond to get Ridding out. That is spectacular.
both Stephen Welsh and Jordan McArdle have had a few highlight reel plays, especially Welshy. We'll see if we have the replay here coming up towards the break, but how hard is that play to make?
That is one of the hardest plays in baseball. You know, he's a 6'5" guy, comes down and gets that ball on the half volley, comes up and gets him out. Wow, unbelievable.
We'll be back after this. A little commentator brace for us to catch your breath. We're 6 viewers away from 200. Share with your friends, and hopefully we're at 200 on the other side of the break. Well, here's a take a look at some of the footage from Millie Fidge, who is Darren Fidge's daughter. She was pitching in the under-17 state championships that were here not too long ago. The Fidge family getting it done. She had a few remarkable performances with a few big strikeouts of her own. And Darren Fidge, her dad, showing Millie what it's all about today as well, too. So that was pretty cool as we get back to the action here. But thanks to the production at Spacequake Sports to be able to pull stuff up like that. Terrell Joyce up here. Jackson Brebner-Russ is working into the 7th inning.
And this is where, you know, he's going to get deep into his pitch counts, because there is the pitch limit that he's got to come out of the game at some point.
So we lead it off, though, here. And this is hit high.
Ben Wigmore has hit that up to center field.
Yeah, Ben Wigmore will go for his 2nd time he's been out on the day. So Jackson Brebner-Russ allows 2 runs in the first and really has settled down remarkably since then. This is exactly the start they needed for him to give him a chance.
It certainly was. And just got to do a shout out. It's quite a good memory there by Benny Cattrall over at Coffin Bay there. He does the oysters on the water. Outstanding if you're out that way. Guarantee you to do it. We did it, Jody and I did it out on the water. It is an unbelievable experience, the Coffin Bay oysters. He makes mention of the Coca-Cola Panthers, and we'll touch on that shortly as we see Toby Baldock here. Well, and a 1-1 count.
Jackson Brebner-Russ now through it 6 1/3 innings. He's allowed 3 earned runs, 5 outs retired from the fly ball and 11 from the ground ball. So the ball has been put in play to get most of his outs. He's only got that 1 strikeout so far in the game, but the defense really shoring up right here for Sturt.
And again, you know, we talk about the ERAs of both teams being so low. Also with quality defense, you got to earn your runs here.
Yep, you certainly do. This is going to get tense, though. We're into the final 3 innings here of Game 1. We have had some classic games in series. Each seem to be getting better than the last over the years here. It really started that trend in a tremendous West Torrens in Port Adelaide series. That was an arm wrestle all the way through, all 3 games. Memorable one was Ryan Muggleton hitting a massive home run to win that one for West Torrens. This is hit hard, over towards third. Jordan McArdle, can he make the play again? Throw across the diamond. That is the 5th time of the game that Jordan McArdle has retired somebody 5-3.
Yeah, he's looking hot over in that in the hot corner to get that out right there.
Karen Chappell saying hi from the Gold Coast, saying go Sturt. Tyler Chappell's mother as well, and Tyler Chappell's played a big role. He's pitched about 15 innings for the team this year. We'll see him at some point.
And a happy birthday to Trina Blanton. They have been Trina Blanton Downs. They have been fantastic supporters of the Goodwood Baseball Club for many years. So we wish her a happy birthday there, and have a great night, and hopefully we can see your team come through for you.
Well, Jackson Brebner-Russ has been, well, once you're over 60 as a local, you can't be used again over the weekend, and he's over 60 well and truly as this is grounded towards short. Going to be a tough play. McCardle tries to take that, and he's going to get a board. It looked like you had light body, moving into that, trying to make that play. Rather, yeah, Mitch Lightbody was trying to move up and make that play, and McCardle sort of cut him off, and now you have a runner on as Owen Hughes gets on. Is that going to be costly?
Look, that was always third base's ball. They got the right away there. They come through. You can see that ball didn't have some pop on it, and it was a bit of a nubbler. That's a tough one to get. That's a 50-50. You're either going to make it or you're not going to make it. So,
and I don't think it's being scored an error as well either on the board, so it'll be ruled a hit. I think it was just sort of a tough place that was put.
It certainly was.
So it does put a runner on, though, for Cakebread and Creswell, a tough part of the lineup. So it's a big moment right here in the 7th inning.
It certainly is, and you know, you've got Josh Cakebread here. You've got to go and find him.
Yeah, Josh and Jeremy Creswell, who's 2 for 2 on the day on deck, and Dylan Child, who's 2 for 3 following him. You want to get out of the inning now.
You certainly do.
See what Cakey can do right here. He's had a big second half as well, and this one just inside. This is the 4th time through the lineup for Jackson Brebner-Russ, and I don't think I see anybody standing up in the bullpen for Sturt down the line.
Yeah, we'll try and have a look down there, but you know, we talk about he's getting deep in his pitch count. His pitches aren't sharp now. He's behind the count.
This is hit to opposite field, moving back, and whoa, an outstretched play by Willie Lee.
What a catch. What a catch. Josh Cakebread smoked that ball, and that kept going. Willie Lee thought that was going to die down, and he has nailed it, and Willie Lee has taken a great catch. Let's have a look on the replay there. That ball going away, and we talk about hitters not trying to do too much, and the class of Josh Cakebread keeps his shoulder in, drives that. That ball keeps going and going. Outstretched Willie Lee. What a catch by Willie Lee to keep him scoreless in that innings there.
Well, Jackson, we'll see. I still don't see anyone out there in the bullpen. I think it's still going to be Jackson Brebner-Russ coming out for the next inning. He's gone through 7. This is a fantastic appearance from him this far in the game. Still lots that can happen, but this is great. Really looking forward to seeing what the end of the game has in store for us. It's a 3-3 game.
We've just had it from Mark Snellgrove there as the president of Baseball SA. It is 105 is the pitch count. So he would be close to his pitch count there.
So we'll see if we can get somebody to do to get us a little bit of an update on what that is. We'll call our friends in the scorer's booth to see how many they're at. Here's some more vintage here. Is Millie Fidge is, you see some vision from her from back in the series.
Father and daughter pitching. That is a cracking footage right there.
This is great effort from
well done.
From David Muggleton and the Space Quick Sports team. They do it just as well as anybody else. They do it better than everybody else in terms of live streaming this sport around the country. They do a fantastic job. And Space Quick Sports, big weekend for them because they got the softball as well tomorrow. So certainly tune into that. We love our Diamond Sports community down here, especially tomorrow. So you can watch it all. It's at 4 p.m. the softball tomorrow, baseball at 6:30. You have your Saturday evening set. The bar's open, I've also heard.
You certainly do, and that'll be something that you'll be special, would be very special there for the Fidge family there to see Darren and Millie on the same screen together.
Jackson Brebner-Russ on 93 pitches, by the way. That will bring that up. We'll bring that up next. He's probably got one more inning in him, but 93 through 7 innings and 3 home runs versus Goodwood.
Very, very economical and very handy.
Well, Terrell Joyce takes a first strike there. He's 1 for 2 with a walk on the day. All of those coming up so far against the starting pitcher, Tyler Thompson, and they've turned it over to Darren Fidge.
And he has got his work cut out for him here with 4, 5, 6 coming up. The heart of Sturt's lineup.
Joyce, McCardle, Roger. You could go back-to-back-to-back home runs with all of them. This inside, and after getting ahead 2 strikes, it's Kerplunk And Joyce is hit, and Fidge, who normally has great control, just had that slip away. Yes. It's a runner on for Geordie.
You can see there it just slipped out of the hand. Obviously, he's ahead of the count. He's trying to get that one in to then potentially go away. That was his waste pitch, and just missing on the waste pitch there. So Darren Fidge not happy with himself. He thinks a lot about this game. He is a thinking pitcher. You get some guys that just get up there and just throw. One thing with Fidge is he is always thinking about adjustments, making adjustments. What am I going to throw? So now he'd be thinking right here, what am I going to come back and go with?
Darren Fidge was pitching in the SABL and in the ABL before this batter, Jordan McArdle, was born. Pretty crazy if you look at it that way.
That is crazy.
And he's still a gamer here, but he does have a runner on, so Sturt can smell an opportunity here. We're through the 7th inning stretch. We're at the bottom of the 7th in the twilight stages of this game, and an exciting conclusion will be on our hands. You can just feel it coming this outside, so Darren Fidge doesn't walk a lot. It's a 2-0 count and a runner on first base.
And you can see there Fidge working low and away, and well handled there by Dylan Childs. You can see he just had to get hold of that, and especially with the runner on first, you don't want to get him over to second.
Here's the pitch. It's called a strike, but blocked by Child there, but it is a strike.
Popped out of his glove, that one. I think there might have been a little bit of, he was expecting it to do a bit more than what it actually did. And, you know, and this is where the smartness of Darren Fidge, how clever he is. Sometimes he'll just take a little bit off that pitch at that point in time, and there it was a 2-0 count, and he's just got that little slower fastball to get his timing out.
The Saints have been so good late in ball games in this final series, and it started in that first round versus Henley and Grange, and now they have an opportunity late once again to get something going, but Fidge fell behind. He's got 2 strikes. Jordan McArdle, he's on fire today. He's 2 for 2 with a home run and a walk. You can't get this guy out right now. Fidge trying to get the breakthrough.
Baseball at its finest right here.
Inside, holds off.
Wow.
How about the patience from McArdle?
Quality hitting. Fidge putting it in there for try to take him fishing, but he wouldn't take the bait.
The wind is dead still right now. There's nothing blowing out in right field with the flags. It's such a rarity here at West Beach. It's a beautiful night down here. Here's the pitch. He swings at that one. That's chopped foul. The runner was going. But that opens up the possibilities of a few things. Normally, especially at 9 p.m., you normally see some of the wind blowing, but there's
normally
no
a breeze. I've come with the jumpers. I've come prepared after being down here.
I'm wearing one, and it rolled up with shorts. It's a weird look for me.
You expect it to get cold right now, but it certainly hasn't.
I feel like a little bit of a tense. The
this is
sort
tense.
of tightened up a little bit. It sort of was a bit of a festive, how you going sort of thing, great runs, and now it's just like, okay, maybe now we get nervous. We're in the bottom 7. The teams are tied at 3. It's the derby. No one wants to lose. Runner going again. Runner outside. Jordan McArdle. It's
just
a walk.
missed.
2 walks, 2 hits, and a home run for Jordan McArdle. He's done everything he possibly could, and he set the stage for Angus Roger. He's got an RBI in the game, and he also has that a run where he dove in back in the 2nd inning.
He certainly is hot at the moment. And one thing, though, I must say, that pitch was a good pitch. It was down and away, and it wasn't a pitch that Jordan McArdle's a guy that can hit a 2-run bomb. You don't want to give him that. Now, the thing is, that's done. You've got him on first. You've got none out. You now need to go at this guy. This is going to be a tough out. And who bigger than Angus Roger up to bat?
And he's going to try to play some small ball, but that gets by. What's the call here?
That's an interesting call right there. How can that not be a strike when he's
started to
bunted it down? He didn't even pull out.
Interesting.
Ben Wigmore not arguing, and he's standing at first, so...
Oh, look at that shot of the moon right here. That means something weird's going to happen. Right?
And we have hit 215 viewers.
Look at that. And if you've just joined us, Goodwood, 2 runs in the 1st inning, 2 runs in the 2nd, and thanks to a home run from Jordan McArdle and a run later scored by that man, Angus Roger. And now
that's an interesting call right here. I'll tell you what happens here.
Bases loaded.
No, this is an interesting call because Angus has come around to bunt. He hasn't pulled out of that.
So that should be a strike.
He's come around and he's stayed there.
And he's leaned into
and
it
that
almost.
ball has hit him. So he hasn't come away from that.
Here's a replay. Let's get your take on this, Doug.
So he comes around.
Yeah,
that's a strike. He's come at that ball.
He's holding in position as he gets hit.
That's right.
Revel calling that right away.
Ian Revel's gone, and he said that straight away. He believed that that's what he saw straight away. He jumped out straight away.
The replay supports that. Let's see what they call this.
No, he's called it.
Wow, he's at first, so bases are loaded. It's a hit by pitch to Roger and Joyce and Jordan McCardle on first. What would be a grand final without a little bit of controversy? And the bases are racked with no outs.
We got that replay on our screen again. Here it is. You see him come around, and a good angle right here. We can see, does he pull back?
Yeah, he does.
He does.
He does, and it catches him on the toe.
He pulls back.
That is
so there you
slow
go. Great
motion.
angle.
You can see it. Unbelievable angle.
Great call there by Ian Revel and the umpiring crew too.
That was probably the right call.
Hats off to them.
Good for them.
Well done.
Great replay right there. Slowed down. So bases loaded. Here's the game story once again. It was tied at 2. Later in the 4th inning, it was or the 5th inning rather, Angus Roger drove home on a run to make it 3-2. And then later they had the bases on 2nd and 3rd with 1 out. They couldn't bring him home. Then Goodwood tied it up in the 3rd. And now we're in the 7th, or in the 5th rather. Goodwood tied it up at 3. And now this is hit to left field. One pass that's dropped, and it's a 4-3 ball game. All the runners will advance, and William Worth has given Sturt the lead.
Well, William Worth has strikeout, fly out to right field, and a ground out to first, and he's come up with a clutch hit at the right time with bases loaded, and scores himself a run.
We're going to have a bit of a mound visit right here as well too. What's this conference going to be about?
Look, at this point in time, you really need to settle, go out there and settle things down for Fiji. It's a tough time for him right now, and you just need to regroup and say, hey, look, you've got bases loaded, you've scored a run, you're now coming up to 8 and 9. You've now got to come back, take a deep breath, and come back at them. There's no one in the pen warming up. It's just time for Fiji to regroup right here. And you know, we've seen that this year with Mitch in the Adelaide Bite.
Yeah,
we see he gets out and he controls the pitches. There's time where you've got to settle them down, let them take a breath, because it's a tough position out there on the hill. It's a lonely position, and you know, you need someone to talk to you, just to calm you down, get you back into a groove, and get back onto the game plan.
Well, Matt Macbeth has had a big game so far. He had that RBI, which tied it up earlier in the game. Now he's got bases loaded. We talked about at the beginning of the broadcast, the difference might be the guys at the bottom of the lineup, and William Worth and Matt Macbeth both have an RBI so far. That is a huge opportunity taken from the Saints, and bases are still loaded right now.
100%. You know, we do. You need those 7, 8, 9 guys to come through for you. That does help you win, and it does prove that that's how you win premierships, from those guys delivering.
0-2 count. A strikeout would mean a huge load right here for Goodwood. And he swings at that one. He stays alive into the at-bat. Tense times here. Sturt fans can feel a big inning coming on. Goodwood fans just trying to limit the damage and let this team, which is a great batting side as well too, try to get themselves back in it. Oh, 2 count. Swings at that one. Chopped over towards short. Throw to second. Throw to first. They only get one, and a run scores as well. The lead extends. It's a second RBI of the day for Matt Macbeth. And it's a big one. It's 5-3 Sturt. The lead's at 2.
And you can see here Fiji throwing the slider away. That ball was outside, and he's got that ball and put that in play and beat it up the line again. We talk about hustling up the line. And well done to Macbeth, not getting upset that he's rolled over on a double play. And that's a tough play there by Cakebread to get that out. And great hustle there by Macbeth up the line that scores a run.
And it's not an easy out here with Mitch Lightbody coming as well.
And we see there, that's the end of Darren Fidge. And
it keeps him under 60 pitches though, so he would be available later on, especially if this goes to like a Sunday scenario as well too.
This is the whole thing of tactics in the game. And you can see that now you've got to go to tactics. What are we going to do here? Is this game over? Do we try and stay it? We need to keep Fidji for further down the track. So now we come to Jake Wild as we hit 230 viewers. Fantastic. So now Jake Wild, and I have had the privilege and the pleasure of being associated with this guy for a long time. He's a great club man. We talk about club people. He runs our Little League program with me out there on a Friday night. I actually caught his first A-grade game.
No way.
Yes. Yep.
There you go.
Had the pleasure of catching that. Had the pleasure of spending some time with his late great father Greg Wild, a former Sturt Football Club champion, and Jake has come through our ranks, and unfortunately due to work commitments came off the scene for a while, and you know, we haven't seen much of him.
He hasn't
at
pitched
all
this year.
He's played a premiership with him in Div 3 a few years back, and he was on the scene too after I obviously caught this game with him in his Division 1 game. He was moving through our club as a Division 1 starter, but with work commitments he joined the police force and moved into that, and unfortunately we lost him through our club because of that. He's been around the mark, and he's a guy right now at this point in time. You're talking the game is still in the balance at 5-3.
Well, there's another runner, there's another guy warming up in the bullpen as well too, and Jake Wild, this is by the way his first appearance for Goodwood. He didn't make an appearance in the regular season.
That's right.
And now he's out here with a runner on first and third. It's only a 2-run game, but one hit can maybe make it 4, maybe 5 runs. That's right there. This is a high leverage situation, so welcome back Jake Wild.
Talk about being thrown out into the fire, but you know he's a cool cat, Jake. Jake the Snake. We love the Snake, and he is a cool cat.
That. The snake.
He is a cool cat, and you know, he will be enjoying this moment, that's for sure.
Well, some walks from Darren Fidge, and I feel bad. Is that the commentator's curse? I said he only walked 17 in 77, and it's 3 walks in 1 inning. You know,
being a rookie to this whole gig up here, and thanks to Phil and Fraser, they told me you just got to call it what you see and how you see it. And
yeah.
You know, there is you're stating the obvious. You've got to call it how you see it, and I'm sure the viewers back home will be happy.
Stats are facts.
Exactly.
Mitch Lightbody has got 2 infield singles this game. Charlie Hustle, as you've called him a couple times this game.
Yes.
He's got a big opportunity, another Sturt player that's rose all the way up through the ranks, and now he's in a grand final. The last time Sturt won a championship, he was not born. Back in 1991. I'm not sure he was alive the last time they played in the grand final. This is bunted down the line. That's going to score. Run into the infield. Single from Mitch Lightbody for the 3rd time today, and it pushes the lead to 6-3. How about the play from Charlie Hustle himself, Mitch Lightbody?
Again, seeing an opportunity there to put the ball down on the ground. Both him and Ben Wigmore, Jake, getting across, but there's no one at first. No need, because he's going to beat it up the line anyway.
That is a fantastic play.
And it was pretty good heads up base running there by Roger. You can see he saw that ball hit the ground and he was going straight away.
And this one slips away. It's going to advance both the runners. So runners on second, runners on third. It's 6-3, and this is on the verge of getting out of hand for Goodwood. And a real potential nail in the coffin here late in the ball game for Sturt. I think that was one of the keys to the game, is limit the big inning. And this is the potential to become a huge inning.
Well, you can see since that the first 2 runs in the first innings by Goodwood, then 2 in the second by Sturt, that's been then a 1-run and a 1-run, and now she's opened up with 3 runs here. You've got to stop the bleeding and stop it quick.
Still time to get back into this, and this is chopped foul once again, so it's a 1-1 count. And it's an important part of the lineup because Harry Nucky's got hits to left field on his last 2 at-bats, and he's up to here and up to his tricks again. We'll see if he can get up to his tricks. That's inside. It's a pitch.
A great pitch there by Jake Wild, yes. And, you know, this is where Jake's really got to be onto his game here, and he's got to nibble away. He's got to frustrate these hitters. He's not an overpowering pitcher. He's got a 2-seam that can run in. He's got a curveball. He's got a good fastball. It's not overpowering, but he's got to locate on each of these pitches.
For as much as we talked about the long ball, it's the small ball that's made the difference here for Sturt today. It's a well-played game. This is chopped again, and it's going to go foul. But we've seen crazier things this series. 3 runs is an easy run to overcome. Jackson Brebner-Russ at 93 pitches, so his time's going to come to an end imminently, if not already.
Very shortly, yes. Well, and we'll talk about that shortly, about how you're going to do your pitching change. So it's Jake Wild here. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out.
And a crucial out. It's going to make it a 2-2.
And that's a good pitch there by Jake, and well laid off there by Harry. So some good baseball there. You've got to keep that ball down, and that's the one thing right now that Jake's got to be working on.
And a big strikeout. Jake the Snake.
The Snake
slivers his way to that one. So Wilson Lee, though, the Caps medalist, can put an exclamation mark on this game. You suspect that Willie Lee will be the starting pitcher tomorrow, which could be an opportunity for them to clinch a win if things keep going this way for Sturt. He has a chance to help that right here by driving a few home.
That's right, and this is an important time right here.
You can hear the crowd yelling, "Come on, Snake," as Wilson Lee slashes that foul.
You can feel the tension in the air. This is a crackerjack.
Huge. This is the biggest at-bat of the game so far. Every at-bat will be the biggest one from here on out.
224 viewers, and I hope you're all enjoying this as much as we are.
People from Germany cheering him on. Willie's manager from Germany, and Willie Lee up to bat right now. He's won an MVP in Germany too, and he swings at this one, and it's a foul ball, so it's an 0-2 count. Willie looking for the knockout punch. We talked about boxing match, there's analogy, all the thing. Right now, Goodwood on the ropes, and they're trying to deliver the knockout punch, or is it a Muhammad Ali thing, a little rope to dope, hang back a little bit and wait to punch back. We'll see what Goodwood can do, but this is huge right here for Wilson Lee. 0-2 count, 2 outs, 2 runners in scoring position.
Jake takes a breath, gives it the nod, stands and delivers.
Just outside. It's
you could see that there. Dylan was just taking that ball away right there. We talked to catchers, you got to get the outside of that ball, and he just got the inside and it took it out of the zone a little.
You could see Jake just wheeling over, trying to will that in. 1-2 count. Outside again.
And this is Willie Lee at his finest right here. He knows what he's after. He knows the pitch that he wants. He's looking for a pitch to drive.
Well, he's driven a lot of them in from Europe to Australia, all the way to the MVP. 2-2 count, 2 outs. It's a Richie, as Phil and Fraser would call it.
Twos.
And he swings through that one. Jake the Snake.
Yo, T. Well done, Jake. What an at-bat. What a battle. And a big out there for the Goodwood Indians Baseball
Look
Club.
At the smile.
Very happy, Jake.
Jake the Snake slivers his way out of that one, and Goodwood still have a pulse. The Caps medalists set down on strikes for the second time today. We'll take a deep breath right here and be back for the last 2 innings in just a moment. great atmosphere here. You can see some crowds trying to start a wave over in the Sturt crowd. It's a festive atmosphere, and Sturt are celebrating because they're up 6-3. There's 2 innings to go. If they win this game, they'd be 1 win away from breaking a 28-year drought, but there's a long way to go. And an interesting part of this big script that's unfolding in front of us, Jackson Brebner-Russ, hats off to him. Great performance through 93 pitches. He can't pitch more than 105. He's going to go the distance here, but that changes everything.
100%, Eric, and this is the great thing of this game here, and there's still a lot of baseball left. Don't forget about that. So what happens is he hits his 105, wherever now you're bringing a guy in off the field. He's got to come in out of the pen. He's got to throw. So it changes. The momentum stops right in the middle of an inning. And that can be a dangerous thing for a pitcher to come in off the bullpen, and it can really cost them.
Creswell, 2 for 2 and a walk, runner-up in Caps medal with 26 votes this year, surged up the leaderboard late.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see him hanging around a little. He's going to burn this count. This is, you wouldn't be surprised if Cressy just sacrifices himself here to get a deep pitch count going. 95
pitches now and counting for Jackson, and this is hit over. It's going to be a tough play. It's going to be a play from Lightbody to short, throw over to first, and it just gets away. That would have been a heck of a play if Mitch Lightbody could have made that. But Scott Pratt, you are a proud member of the Goodwood Baseball Club. We know that you're cheering them on right here. You got a runner on aboard.
Yeah, and there we go. It's a
4 times he's been on
count. He looks a bit gingery there, Cressy. There's something not quite right there.
Yeah, he does.
He beat it up the line, and then you could see the ball ran down first baseline. He could have potentially gone to second, but I think he might have hurt himself beating up the line. Again, ball in the hole, great play by Lightbody. Charlie Hustle up the line, beat it up the line, put the pressure on him, and well done by Cressy to get there.
Dylan Child, he had a double which scored the first run of the ball game back in the first inning, grounded out in a double play and reached on a fielder's choice. He has a runner on right now. Big moment right here as this is the second pitch there thrown from Jackson Brebner-Russ.
And here we are, 4, 5, 6 coming up to bat. Childs,
huge middle
Welsh,
of the lineup.
Garn.
And this is their 4th time through Jackson too, so they've seen a few things as that is a strike thrown. This will be pitch number 100 coming up here from Jackson Brebner-Russ. It's been a tremendous performance. We hope you've enjoyed this game as much as we have here. Goodwood here running out of outs, but making a push back. This is hit hard. This is to short. Throw to 1. They've got 1. Throw over to second. It's a double play, and the Sturt fans erupt. A huge double play turn on the 101st pitch thrown by Jackson Brebner-Russ. He allowed 2 on the first and has been excellent since then. And this will likely be his last batter he faces here, and the bases are clear for him.
What a pitch there, going with the breaking ball, getting Childs to ground out to shortstop for a double play. And again, the tight defense of Sturt rolling that double play.
Jackson Brebner-Russ comes in right here. 2 tough runs allowed in the first, but he's got multiple double plays in the game. And he is now up to, that is pitch 100, and that was pitch 101, sorry, right there. So this is probably his last batter. Unless Welsh swings at this one. This is back to right field, and it's caught. He could come out for another if he wants. But if that was the grand final performance from Jackson Brebner-Russ, you got to take your hat off to him.
You certainly do, and he's been able to get those pitches thrown outstanding to get the ground balls. Get the ground balls, keep the ball down, roll the double play. So well done to JBR on that.
Only 1 strikeout from Jackson Brebner-Russ on the day, but the rest have really just been crafty defense, some great defense all day from Sturt. And we were talking, the chat at Caps was Goodwood's advantage would be in the defense department, and Goodwood's played fine defense. But Sturt have had some pressure put on them, but they have not broke at all.
Geordie McArdle in the hot corner. I'd love to know the last time he played third base, and he has tore it up at third.
What a big in that was for the weekend, having Jordan McArdle come back, because he's had 6 plays where he's retired guys at 5-3.
Yeah, massive in for their club, and a good boost for them. And now we see Rich Olsen coming onto the hill for the Goodwood Indians.
What a great story for Richard Olsen. You know, he at the peak of his career, he was pitching for Team Australia at the opening day game MLB when it was in Sydney,
yes.
and he got Paul Goldschmidt out.
How's that?
Which is pretty tough to do. And he had a pretty...
Explain to the viewers about that whole tournament.
Yeah, that was fantastic. So a few years ago, MLB opening day, much like it's been in Japan now, Diamondbacks, Dodgers played a game in Sydney in late March. Team Australia got to play an exhibition game versus the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers, and multiple players from Australia got to play in that, including Richard Olsen, and he got to pitch in the biggest stage in front of 50,000 people. He was there. Unfortunately, he got hurt. He had some shoulder and arm problems, and he's worked his way back up the ranks from injury. He was playing he won a grand final with Divi 4s, and now he's back pitching in a Div 1 grand final, and he's got to keep the middle of the lineup at bay. Great story for Richard Olsen. You feel so good for him to see him back up on the hill.
And he's a great guy. You know, he's been around our club helping the youngsters out, the pitchers, and you know, for him to just, I'll go and play Div 4, I'll go and play ball and hang out with the guys, and then to come back and to be involved now is something special for him.
And a smart guy too. Just recently finished his law degree.
Yes.
Ridding, Joyce, and McArdle, though, they had to face this part of the lineup, everything except Ridding, I guess, last inning. So it doesn't make it easy. But you know what? Ridding getting some, it looks like he's, or not Ridding, sorry, Olsen looks like he's throwing the ball with some pace. Great story.
And he moves the ball around. He runs that 2-seam in, and he's got a good curveball that he throws as well.
This is hit hard up the middle. Diving Creswell, it gets by him. It's a base hit up the middle for Dylan Ridding. This offense is relentless. Sturt just keep on coming. Look at the replay once again here. Great effort from Creswell. Just it was a hard hit ball in the middle.
Well, that's Ridding's first hit for the night.
1 for 5, yeah.
So you know, it goes to show you can't keep him down. He's that quality hitter to get the leadoff guy on for Sturt here in the bottom of the 8th.
Joyce 1 for 2. He's also got on base on a hit by pitch, and that's how it all started to unravel for Goodwood last inning. They scored 3, and he's had a walk earlier as well too. Sturt, it's been back and forth. Goodwood were up 2-0. Swings through that one. Ian Revel behind home plate calling that. Great umpiring crew we've got today. Ian Revel, Neil Polton. You've got Blake Halligan and Payne Souter, the premier 4 in the competition here in South Australia, getting the games for the Division 1 series. Swings through this as well too, and Terrell Joyce was looking for the punch out here.
And there's that pitch from Rich Olsen, that fastball down and in, 2-seam that moves nicely.
They've been pitching Terrell in a lot here, and he's been hit in as well too.
You don't want to give him, he's a big strong boy, you don't want to give him too much extension. And so there they've worked away, right? So the whole idea is to change the eyes. So there's a ball away, so you're looking away, and now what you want to do is come right in under his hand. So let's see whether Rich goes that way, or where he's going to go working with a breaking ball, or if he's just going to go with the fastball. And there it is. You see that? He runs that in. So try to vary the eyesight of the hitter. Now he's got himself at a full count. None out. Runner at first.
Huge out. You just don't want to put McArdle and Roger in any situation. This is hit hard. Over to third. Welsh, throw to second. There's one. Throw to first. Didn't quite hold on to the ball, but it was an admirable effort. What a great play from Stephen Welsh at third again. Again,
yes. And, you know, the hustle of Terrell up the line that really put the pressure on Cakebread rolling that double play just to the other side of the bag of Welsh. Look at him hustle up the line. Look at that.
That puts some big pressure on.
That. As a fielder, you have peripheral vision and you can see what the runners are doing. And you see a guy beat up the line, you need to move a little bit quicker, and that little bit pressure causes that throw to go the other side of the bag. Darren Welsh says hello as well too. He just watched his son make a heck of a play again. He's been doing that all game long, but unfortunately for Goodwood, they're down 6-3, but what a performance from Sturt. Pitching from Jackson Brebner-Russ. Great.
defense, especially from Jordan McCardle. Excellent hits scattered all throughout the lineup. It's a total team effort from top to bottom here for Sturt tonight.
It certainly is. And Darren Welsh, that guy could play as well. Geez, have you heard any stories about him, Eric?
I've heard some stories.
Unbelievable. One of the best pitchers, played for Australia, and could also play other positions as well.
Every single player for Sturt, by the way, Pratty, has got on base. That is a telltale sign that it's a pretty relentless lineup.
That's their offense, as we talked about. That is such a key part here.
McCardle has a home run. He kick-started the offense with a solo shot on an opposite field home run. It went oppo taco. It just kept drifting and drifting and drifting until it was over the wall, and Sturt were on the board to cut the lead to 2-1. And they've really been pretty much in control since then.
They have, haven't they?
Someone in the bullpen. I wonder if Jackson will come out for just one. He can face one more batter. I doubt it, but you never know. And I've seen crazier things.
Look, at this point in time, when at this stage you're 6-3 up, you've got momentum. Do you want to stop the game? You get a guy out, he throws it an at-bat. You want to do that.
And this is hit hard. It's going to find a gap, and Jordan McCardle continues his amazing game. He's going to be sent home. McCardle steps in with a double. Will there be at a plate? And J. Mack goes whack, and it is a 7-3 ball game. Jordan McCardle, his third hit of the game. He's 3 for 3 and been on base all 5 times he's been up to bat.
Unbelievable, and you can see that pitch. That wasn't a bad pitch, just quietly. That Rich Olsen delivered that nicely, but Jordan McCardle with that hot bat, unbelievable shot. He's really dug that out, and Terrell got on his bike, and didn't he motor around the bases?
What a game from Jordan McCardle. You take him out of the lineup, there goes 3 or 4 runs right there.
Well and truly.
3 for 3, home run, double, single, and 2 walks. And they're just going to intentionally walk Angus Roger. Now, why would you do this?
Oh, 100%. You know, you've got one out, you've got a free base. You're looking for a double play here. You don't put a guy that's super hot with his bat, you don't give him a chance. It doesn't matter the fact that you're going to go to, well, now you're going to a guy who's not as good as Roger, and not being disrespectful to Worth, but who are you going to throw to, Worth or Roger?
Yeah, and it opens up the double play, I guess, too.
That's exactly what you're looking for right there. That's baseball.
So, and it's a key one. They can't allow much more here, but William Worth, he has an RBI in this game already, don't forget.
I've got a shout out to Russell Teachman. He's involved with the Brisbane Bandits, 4-time ABL champions, was an ex-Goodwood player. Saw his play his first Division 1 game, and what a great player he was. And we lost him because he moved into state, but g'day Rusty, good to hear from you. And
I think he was tuning in when we were calling a game in Melbourne as well together.
Yes, he was. And the Weiss family, Henry Weiss winning the MVP for the under-13 Div 2 and won under-11s last year. Hello to them sitting at home watching.
This is hit hard down the line. It's 2 strikes on it here. A big at-bat right here. It's 7-3. There's 3 outs for Goodwood remaining in this game, and they're hanging on. It's not over yet. They're going to get a new pitcher to face. It's not looking great, but it looks a lot worse if you allow these runs in here.
It certainly does, and this is an important time here for Rich Olsen to get this double play.
This is hit hard, and it's a foul ball once again. Sturt just so relentless, so good. They have played a great game today. There's not too many teams that could beat Sturt the way they're playing today. But again, I'm gonna question whether Sturt can do this again tomorrow. They played great. They can do it tomorrow, but it is so hard, even the best of the best. Tough to go 2 games in a row like this, and Goodwood lost game 1 last year in the grand final, so much can happen still. This is hit high to right field. Will this be enough to advance a runner? And the runner will have a second thought about this.
And we got something going on. Rich Olsen, as he pitched, fell over. He did something to, I think it's either his knee. It looks like it was his knee. So he threw the ball and twisted. He's not good.
To see this, and it's on his left. He's not putting any weight on that too.
It's on his landing knee. So as he's landed, he strided out.
Oh,
that's not good.
He just buckled it on the left. You saw that I mean,
hyperextended there.
We've read a lot about the knees lately. If you're watching all over the world, but in the Australian rules football game last night, star player Alex Rance did a knee as well too. It's all you hear in the news right now is these knee injuries, and he's a guy that's had a tough luck from injury. Richard Olsen, but he's getting back up. Hopefully, it was just a bit of a hyperextend and pain coming down at a high velocity.
I'll tell you something about this guy. He is as tough as nails. He is as tough as nails.
That's it for him.
Nah,
he's grimacing and he's walking off. He can't do it. He's fighting back some pain. That's tough to see, but I'm so glad that he is walking off like that.
Yeah, exactly. And I would say, he would say, you've got to shoot me to get me off this field if you're going to carry me off. I'm walking off. I'll leave here walking.
Here's a look at it again.
There it is, just that slip as he landed right there.
And he knew right away.
Oh, yeah.
Head in the sand. So, but Goodwood didn't have anyone in the bullpen warming up.
Now, we'll probably see Matty Watkins, I'll say. So, right now, at this point, what can happen is this is an injury substitution.
Yeah, so you can warm him up.
You can take as long as you want to get your guy in, and Matty Watkins is going to come in and get himself loose. And, you know, I feel for Rich Olsen. Like, he is an athlete that has played at the highest level, but unfortunately injuries have really, we haven't seen the best out of him. I think there was a lot more that we could have got out of Rich, but unfortunately injuries have hurt him along the way.
Yeah, Matty Watkins, there he is, settling in. He was the MVP of the grand final last year. And this year he's actually done it with the bat a couple times this year.
He hit all right, actually.
There it is again, the look at it here. Well, again, thank you very much for joining us on the coverage today, 6:30 p.m. Great series on tap. The suspected starters tomorrow will be Michael Gaughan for Goodwood, you would suspect would get the start.
100%, yep.
And Wilson Lee for Sturt. What a pitching matchup that will be.
That will be a crackerjack, and you know, this is where we really, you know, how do you feel? You're handing the ball over to Willie Lee, Caps medalist. You'd be feeling pretty confident if you're Sturt Baseball Club.
And there'll be a couple key outs tomorrow. Stephen Welsh and Brendan Pett unavailable for game 2 for Goodwood. It's a tough out for them, but they're so deep, this lineup. They've got a lot of contributors that can make it happen for Goodwood. But game 1 certainly was important for the team, wasn't it?
Well, it is, and me as being not only a parochial Goodwood supporter, but a lover of this great game, she ain't over yet. We've still got some more baseball left. There's no doubt about that. And there's some fire in this game. And
fire in Goodwood. We saw that last year. Goodwood looked like they were on the verge of losing last year's grand final. On game 2, they were down to their last couple outs. They fought back. They won that game. Darren Fidge hustling out an infield single, the eventual winning run in extras, and then 19-1. How you doing on Sunday with a big win? Phil Hurton will be joining us tomorrow as well too. Joining the play-by-play and hosting booth, which will be a lot of fun. We've got 3 division finals tomorrow, but right now it's 2 outs. We've got a runner on first and second. Already Jordan McCardle has had his 3rd hit of the game, going 3 for 3 with 2 walks in this game. Early nominee, you'd say, for MVP of this game.
Certainly, and now we got Matty Macbeth, who came up with that clutch ground ball to shortstop to score that run to get the thing going. You know,
2 RBIs from Matty Macbeth. Just spread all over the place. Everyone's reached. This is hard hit to Steph at 3rd. He collects it, calmly throws it to first. It's just on the bank. Does he get it on? He's safe. Back to second. Can they get the runner? And he's safe there too. And the bases are loaded. Just a slight miscue on what usually is a sure-handed play, and Matt Macbeth has just made it difficult all day for Goodwood. Here's a look at the replay. We'll see where the error's on.
You can see Steph got deep in his glove and didn't quite get a handle on that. Just dragging Ben Wigmore off the base there.
Mitch Lightbody has not 1, not 2, but 3 infield singles, including that key RBI, which pushed them ahead in the last inning, and he swings hard at this one. This is back. This is Foul! Oh my goodness. Mitch Lightbody almost put an exclamation mark on this one. He almost went from 3 infield singles to a grand slam.
That was unbelievable. That wasn't just over, that was over the hill.
Just like a 12-hour barbecue brisket, that ball was smoked.
I love it.
But it couldn't stay fair.
I'm sure Phil is laughing at that one too. That is a classic.
We'll see what he can do here. This dropped in, but that's a big sigh of relief. That was an 8-run ball game, still at 4. So we'll take it for Goodwood for perspective there. There's been a lot going on here. It's been close all the way through, but it's just been in the 7th and 8th innings here that Goodwood have just pulled away. Matty Watkins entering the ball game after Richard Olson went down awkwardly on the knee. This is the 5th pitcher that Goodwood has used today, and even saw a performance. Or is it just the fourth pitcher?
Yes.
4th pitcher. Even saw a performance. No 5th pitcher. As this gets inside, they walk a run in. Mitch Lightbody's been on board 4 times today as well, too. McCardle touches home for the 3rd time today. Bases remain loaded, and it's really extended out now to an 8-3 game. Well, Harry Nucky comes up. Bases still loaded on a Relentless team here. We hope you've enjoyed the coverage, but Goodwood or Sturt trying to shut the door right here on a Game 1 win.
Yeah, that hit him. It
just hit him.
Yeah. Mitch not moving out of the way of that one. Take that one to score himself a run.
Well, the little guy, the little guy, Mitch Lightbody's come through in a big way.
He has.
Matty Macbeth, William Worth have come through big. Matt Macbeth, William Worth, and Mitch Lightbody, the bottom of the lineup here, have caused an absolute fit for Goodwood.
I did call
and this
that.
just goes off the edge of the bat. Awkward play. Matt Watkins balls it, go to first. Safe. 9-3.
Yeah, Matty just couldn't get a handle on that one. And, you know, again, when you're beating it up the line, when you're hustling up the line, great things do happen. And that's a great lesson for people. That's a swinging bunt right there. Matty Watkins couldn't get a handle on it. If you don't run up the line, if you think you're out, you got another thing coming. You got to beat up the line, and that is a hungry player that wants to get on base and do the right thing for his club. So well done there by Harrison Nucky.
Well, Matty Watkins will head off as well too. But looking at the scoreboard here, they had a 1-2-3 first inning, but then in the 2nd inning they faced 7 batters. They scored 2 runs. 5 batters faced in the 3rd, 5 batters faced in the 4th, 6 batters faced in the 6th, 4 in the 6th, but then in the 7th they faced 8th, and we're about to see the 9th batter faced for Goodwood here. It's for Sturt here. It's just being relentless from the Sturt offense.
And we knew that that was going to happen from the get-go. Just want to put a shout out to John Thompson, Tyler's father, and we are proud of the efforts that Tyler put in. He threw a great game with his 7 strikeouts. And the offense of Sturt has really come through. And now we've got a pitching change. We have, by the look of it, young Peter Pake, the under-17 MVP for the Goodwood Indians.
Well, this is good experience for him. It is bases loaded. The game just increasingly becoming out of reach. You don't want it to become any more, but this is as good a situation as any to get Peter Pake in this game.
Yeah, look, I think this is a fantastic thing that Ben Wigmore has done here. Give Peter a chance to throw. At this point in time, to be honest now, you're talking 9-3, you're starting to think, right, we've got game 2 and game 3 to win. This game is theirs to the take. So 15 hits, the offensive, and you know, just quietly, 7 hits for Goodwood. You know, you come away with 7 hits in a grand final, you'd be pretty happy with that. But the 15 hits and the 9 runs are a big factor.
It's sort of the game where, I mean, you could really write that headline as it was close until it wasn't.
Well, you know, we're talking right up until the, what are we talking, the 5th, 6th, and all of a sudden there's another run. We're talking 3-2 in the 5th. We're talking 3-all in the 6th. We're talking then all of a sudden 3 runs in the 7th, and then that's when the game had opened up.
Well, bases loaded for the Caps medalist Wilson Lee, and you know what's crazy is he's the MVP of the competition. Wilson Lee has gone 0 for 4.
Now that's the commentator's curse now.
And he struck out
3 times.
No, struck out 3 times, going 0 for 4. So the rest of the lineup has gone absolutely crazy.
That's right, and that Sean Lee is no relation to Wilson Lee. Sean Lee is an ex-coach of Goodwood and was with us in the early days of the premierships of 99-2000.
Peter Paik on Wilson Lee. This one just in for a strike. Wilson Lee doesn't like that at all. A dramatic head turn. He's got 3 strikeouts. Is he going to go to 4, Willie Lee?
And here's Peter Paik, under 17 MVP for the Baseball League, South Australian Baseball League, coming against the Caps medalist.
Drops it in. He starts walking off the mound, but he's got to head back.
Try to sell it there. But how is this? MVP for the under 17s going against the Caps medalist.
MVP for Div 1.
That is unbelievable.
Pretty cool. And Peter Paik, I remember seeing him just growing up the ranks of the junior. He has got big quickly. Here's another pitch, full count coming up.
He needs to get that ball down.
This is a scary pitch right here.
You don't leave that ball up.
Willie's going to get something to hit here, you'd think.
He's a great kid, Peter Paik, and this is great to see. And now he's got to stand and deliver.
Big pitch coming inside. It's another walk it's a double-digit run total here as another walk is coming. That's Matt Macbeth comes in, light body to third, Nucky to second, and Willie Lee to first. It's 10-3, and this will be the 10th batter of the inning here. It's a 10-3 game, and this is where we start talking about, I think, a little bit about tomorrow, Pratty.
Yeah, 100%, and that's exactly where we're at here, and it's good to give Peter this chance and give him some experience. And you can see there he's leaning back as he's pitching, and that's why he's throwing that ball up. He's really got to get his timing right and come out over the front.
Dylan Ridding led off the inning with a single, and then it was an attempted double play. It was so close. Terrell Joyce just legged it out, and he hits this hard. This is up towards center field. They're trying to move under this one, and they make the catch, and another tough inning comes to an end. The guy that was the first out of the inning, Dylan Ridding, is the 3rd out of the inning.
You don't want to be the 1st and 3rd out, but after innings like that, you wouldn't be caring.
So we'll keep it right here heading into the bottom of the 9th. 10-3,
top of the 9th.
Top of the 9th. This is the last chance right here. Sturt just so relentless. That is the game story in this one.
It is, and you know, the offensive power of the Sturt Saints Baseball Club. We saw it, we talked about it. They are #1 in offense, and there is a reason why. They've got the hitters, and their hitters have delivered tonight. And quite interesting where they've come from. You know, we talked about Harrison Nucky coming up with 2 hits in that clutch time when he needed to. But the pure power of Jordan McArdle being able to go to all parts of the field. Home run over left field, a single down to right field, and a double to centre right. So it just goes to show he can hit all fields, going 3 for 3 with 2 walks. The X factor of McArdle being so important for him. But again, we get down to 7, 8, 9, and we talk about that. You win premierships from your 7, 8, 9 guys delivering. And tonight, Sturt's guys, Worth, Macbeth, Lightbody, have all delivered.
I feel like this is a Jackson Brebner Russ's day, by the way, has come to an end. Tremendous performance, but I feel like this is a vintage pitcher, Sturt pitching performance. JBR goes 8 innings pitched, 7 hits. He has only the 2 strikeouts. He had a few double plays that he worked his way into. He gave his team an opportunity to win, and just like Sturt's done all season, they'll allow 3 or 4 runs. That's okay, because this offense is going to do, well, it's 10-3, so.
And exactly, you know, and the interesting thing we talked about with JBR, he hasn't been a strikeout guy. He's just made the guys get their ground outs. He's put the pressure back on them with his 2-seam running in, with his slider away. He's forced the errors on the hitters of Goodwood.
Yep.
And he's got it done, and he's been economical. We saw Tyler get behind the count a few times. JBR stayed ahead of the count, workmanlike, went at him, and stayed economical and went deep, went to the 8 innings. So an outstanding performance by JBR.
Well, you love seeing some development in this competition, and Josh Tyndall steps to the mound. He's had 57 innings pitched this year, a guy that's really rose through the ranks again, got some more experience in Super League as well,
He threw very well in the Super League.
And this year he's 57 innings for Sturt, so you can't say enough about what he's meant to this team here. He's got a 7-run buffer, so you hope you're safe at home here as Brendan Pett steps up to the plate. So it'll be a tough task for Goodwood tomorrow, but this team did it last year. Can they do it again? Pett's behind 0-2. And we talked a lot about this on the bottom, like you just said, the bottom 3.
7, 8, 9.
Goodwood's bottom 6, 7, 8, 9, no hits. That's the difference.
It is, and that is a key factor. And you know, I hate to harp on about it, but it does make a difference. You need those guys to deliver for you.
Well, we're just waiting for that another big blue eruption over there. And this is a strikeout. Petty not too happy about that, but it is a strikeout from Josh Tyndall in his grand final debut. It's 1 down, they're 2 outs away. Tomorrow, triple header action, Div 3, Div 2 grand finals. Those will not be streamed, but Div 1 grand final will be streamed. Softball on the semi-final will be streamed over just to the left of us.
It'll be busy.
And it'll be a busy day. Michael Gahn takes that right down Main Street. Strike 1.
What a great coverage this has been too. The film crew, awesome work.
10-3 really does not indicate how close this game has been. It's been a really, really good job. It's been a really, really close game up until late.
It has been a cracking game.
It has been, and great atmosphere down here too. Tomorrow's going to be insane. There's no way that all these people in Sturt aren't calling their friends saying you have to be down here Saturday to potentially see history. Who knows when it'll be? And this is grounded out over towards second. Throw to first. Ritting retires him. So we're down to the final out. And it's the skipper, Ben Wigmore, will come to the plate. Well, the depth will be tested tomorrow. Dennis Christensen was hurt earlier in the week, so he's out.
Big loss there with
no
Dennis.
Welsh and no Pett tomorrow, so a big, big task for Goodwood. But they are champs, they are resilient, and there's a lot of good talent on this team.
There certainly is.
Wiggy, Ben Wigmore steps up. Talk about a selfless guy to the game of baseball. What a coach he is.
He is a great leader and an outstanding player that has played this game at the highest level. Silver medalist.
This is hit hard.
There he is.
Is it going to find a gap? It does.
It is.
Ben Wigmore gets the first hit for the bottom part of that Goodwood lineup, and it's a double.
Silver medalist in Athens for the in the Australian Olympics, and quality catcher. And one of the finest hitters, you can see there. He lives in the vortex and he drives that ball into the gap right nicely and hits it to the cones in the gap.
Great defense, by the way. Shout out to the Sturt defense. No errors on the board as well, too. They've played a fantastic game.
They have played a perfect game right here.
Toby Baldock up to plate and he swings at this one. What do we know about Toby?
Toby is a player that his father played Div 1 and has then moved to Darwin, and then Toby came back. Yeah, it's great to have him back in our club, and has been in our club for about 10 years.
And he swings at this one. This is chopped to short, light body, throw to first, and Sturt are 1 win away from a premiership drought coming to an end. A decisive performance, especially late. Every player in the starting lineup getting on base, and it's a 10-3 win.
Yeah, and hats off to Sturt. Look, they did everything right, and that's the important thing is you got to do everything right to win these games. Their defense was sound, their pitching, JBR, outstanding performance on the mound, and then their offense scoring so many runs. You know, to score 10 runs in a final in game 1, that's a big effort. So hats off to them, to Sturt Baseball Club, a great result.
So what will be the messaging in the Goodwood rooms after the game here?
Look, to be honest, and I'll tell you the truth, we've been here before. We did it last year. Port were very up and about. They're happy with their win. there's a lot of baseball left. Mark my words, there is a lot of baseball left. Yes, Willie Lee is going to be the challenge. It is going to be a big challenge for the Goodwood Baseball Club to take on Willie Lee, but there's still a lot of baseball left.
Well, tomorrow, a huge day. It starts at 10:30 down at Diamond Sports. Adelaide Angels versus Glen Elgin Div 3. At 2:30, it's Southern Districts Baseball Club versus West Torrens in the Division 2. And then in between that, at 4 p.m., you can go just check over the Diamond. A great semifinal between Walkerville, the 1-2, and West Torrens. West Torrens is coached by the great Andrew Scott
yes.
in that game as well, too. A big baseball connection. And then as soon as that game ends, about 6 p.m. at 6:30 right here, the Premiership Shield will be in the building, but I don't think Goodwood are want to give that away too early.
No, they won't, and she will be a cracking jack game. I'll be at 9 a.m. up at Sturt, training with the Seahawks with Tony Catt, Mark Paparella, and Julian Smith.
That is going to be a
There's
tense
going to be some
atmosphere.
banter. I actually do have a photo of Angus Catt. He forgot his hat on Wednesday night at training, so I got him to put I had a spare Goodwood hat, so I got a photo of Angus Catt with a Goodwood hat in a Sturt Saints top.
That's great.
So it's going to be a crackerjack morning tomorrow at training, and a crackerjack game tomorrow.
Before we head off, I think Sean Lee just put a really good message out there for Goodwood. Tomorrow, nothing special, just Goodwood baseball from you boys.
There it is.
I think that's what Goodwood need to do. Make sure you tune in tomorrow, or better yet, get down to the ballpark. Scott Pratt, thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to calling the game tomorrow with you tomorrow. Phil Herden will be here. To all the crew at Spacequake Sports, Sturt, come on late. It's a 10-3 win. They take game 1 of the Division 1 Grand Final Series.